Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to It's brought to you by two of my favorite people.
The Bart Merrick team. If you're looking to buy your house or sell your house, I'll get the start over. Sorry.
No, I think we should leave this in.
Okay.
I feel, yeah.
All right.
Let's give them a real greasy sausage. Normally that little piece of casing that hangs off the end before you tie it up, you would snip that off and make it look cute. But I'm not in that mood today. I want to give you guys full sausage.
We're doing it. It's all about using realtors with experience, and Bart and Crystal have been buying and selling houses this entire time throughout the pandemic. They're doing it this week. They closed this week on BDM's house, and that's what you're going to get with the Bart Merrick team. Plus, you get two experienced realtors working for you. They know what to price your house at. They know what the if you're looking to buy a house, which is super hard right now.
Yeah, good luck.
They're going to give you the best chance because they know all the tips and tricks. They know what kind of offer you have to come to the table. They know how much
they're sort
above
of obsessed
asking
with
price.
It.
They have the experience. Yeah.
Your wife tells me very little about anything other than where the market's going when I talk to her. I mean, they're obsessed with it.
Ask the BDMs. And speaking of that, we've got Russ on the line. He actually lived in California.
Oh, okay. You scared me for a second.
But then bought a house here in Celebration. Is that correct, Russ?
What?
That's correct.
Dude, you bought in Celebration, Big Dog Russ. My God.
Yeah.
Well, we looked at where you guys are, but we couldn't afford to live over there. So.
We're
really rich,
renting.
I don't even live here. I live in Casselberry down the street.
And I barely live here. If you saw the inside of my house, it's abysmal compared to everybody else's. Very dated.
So, Russ, how was it working with Bart Merrick and Crystal Van?
It was so nice because, being in California, we had to move quickly when something came on the market. And it was so nice. We could always trust Crystal. And, if she couldn't make it, Bart was always there. So it wasn't a wasted trip when we would come out here and look at places.
You know what I love is that and this, I've never really thought about this before, but I love that our listeners benefit from the knowledge and the never give up and just beat it to death mentality that Crystal has when it comes to being organized and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
In your life, she applies it to just crushing your dreams. But to them, she uses it to make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she will not let you down.
Impossible. She'd rather let herself down. She'd jump in front of the train.
Plus, you have Bart and Crystal working for you, and just like Russ said, if one of them can't make it, another can. That's the advantage of having two realtors work for you.
Indeed.
And like I said, they have the experience and they know what it takes to buy a house, and that's really hard right now. And
what kind of square foot are we talking about?
What you got there, Russ?
What are you running there in Celebration?
It's not big. It's about $1,750. It's a little townhouse. And
hey, I'm in a townie.
Yeah, but
don't discount the townies. Yeah, it's good. Zero maintenance, right? You just
that was the biggest thing we were looking for.
Well, Russ, you should apply to get a free plant from Gabriella Plants because that, if you use Bart and Crystal, that applies for the free plant.
You should apply for all your Tom and Dan grants. We give out plant grants. We have plant grants. We're giving out grants like crazy. Plant grants, sticker grants, all kinds of stuff.
If you use any of our sponsors, just email us and let us know. We'll give you something because that helps us a lot. Russ, we appreciate you using the Bart Merrick team, and good luck in Celebration. You're not going to need it because of a super nice neighborhood.
Yeah, and I want you to know something, buddy. You're my favorite Russ. Yeah. You're my favorite Russ.
I'm most people's favorite Russ, too, right?
Okay. I like your comment.
One other thing, guys. Moving from California, because in California, there's so many laws and codes and rules.
Wait a minute, we're still recording. Are you going to talk about burying your wife's body or something like this?
It was so nice. It was so nice with Crystal. She got us appraisals. She got us everything that we needed, and it was like, do we need this? No, you don't need that. You need this, and it was just so nice being able to work with someone.
Oh, she cuts through the BS.
Really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, Crystal knows the stuff that's a money grab. Crystal and Bart know, you don't need that. They're just making you get that because they want the money. They know how to do it by the book, by law, by exactly what you need without giving you the excess of paying for things you don't need, scams. inspections that are unwarranted, because those things are out there only to make that person money. Correct.
They're going above and beyond for their clients, especially Tom and Dan listeners and BDMs, because they will work harder for you than anybody else, because they want the reputation of always, serving the client to their 100% of their ability, and that's what you get with the Bart Merrick team.
And welcome back to Central Florida, buddy. We're glad to have you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Take it easy, Russ.
Have a good weekend, Russ.
It's BartTheRealtor.com.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Got a semantic shirt on. When is your 5-year deal? When's that going
That
on?
is this Sunday, February 20th at Rock Pit Brewing.
I love it. I love it. Go to Rock Pit. You get your. You released the can art last night, did you not?
Yeah. You can check out the can art. We have our very own Semantic Sunday Vienna Lager beer that we're going to release on Sunday. So come grab a 4-pack.
Awesome.
There you go.
Speaking of podcasts, our buddy Dan Cummins is here. How you doing, Dan?
Thanks for having me back, everybody. And then congrats on 5 years.
Thank you.
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty cool, right? It's like podcast to podcast to podcast. Like, they're growing. This podcast thing is happening.
Everybody's got
It's here to
one.
stay.
It's growing, but also there's a lot of fade where people are just like, oh, fuck it. And so they stop doing
That's
their podcast. So we'll talk podcasting, but first let's talk about your tour. You're going to be at the Orlando Improv, 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. I'd get your tickets literally right now because I've seen BDMs buying
our
tickets
guys
since
are-
October, since
They're
you
all
announced.
sitting together.
That's nice.
This week in our chat room, I've watched everyone in the. You've been in there. Christine's been in there. We've watched everyone just go tickets.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
you're going to have a lot of these guys in there, and that'll be a lot of fun. I'm very jealous. I mean, we're doing something cool. You and I were going camping. I'm very.
Is it cool?
Camping. Wow.
I'm going to keep saying that until it's not.
Well, it's funny, dude, Dan, because I was excited.
Did you just call him Doo-Doo Dan? I swear to God, I turn away for 1 second and
There's
he's
a
like,
comic,
let's talk about that Doo-Doo Dan.
Doo-Doo Brown. I can be Doo-Doo Dan. Doo-Doo Brown and Doo-Doo Dan.
My wife planned this camping trip this weekend for my 40th birthday.
Again, happy birthday. I
Thank
saw
you.
that on the gram.
And so
You were out there. You thought, and you were wrong, that you had the biggest guns in the room. And you're like, I turned 40, I've got big guns, not that bad. And then,
No.
Dan walked
nationally
in.
touring comedian and podcasting mogul only under Joe Rogan, Dan Cummins walks in and says,
Got a gun.
yo, motherfucker,
Yeah,
look at these fucking guns.
That's a quote. That's a direct quote.
Oh, yeah, he straight cockled me.
And
with
After I
his-
kicked in the door. I kicked the door in.
What's up, motherfuckers?
I walked out of the bathroom and I was like, who the hell is this? Good Lord, we're being attacked by the Navy SEALs.
Yeah, as I was hugging Dan, I was like, God damn, you're bigger than I used to be.
That was
taller and jacked.
taller.
I don't want to go full gay on you, but that was a phenomenal hug. When I held you, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm on the spectrum." I can when I held you,
It
I'm
moves
like,
a little?
I can see where in a lot of these new pornos, it's guys and girls, and then the guy will jack another guy off for a little while. And
fine.
it's totally cool. It's not really gay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm not as old and uncool as I think I am. Maybe I'm pretty cool because as I'm hugging Dan, I'm like, this is good. This is what life's all about.
You just run out in the street. Guys, I'm gender fluid.
Yeah. Guys, I think I felt a
It's on
little
the right
fluidity there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So the reason me and Daniel can't can't come to the show either tonight or tomorrow is because my wife planned this camping trip because we.
Why are you blaming it on her?
Well,
Right.
It's something that you told her you wanted.
I did not say that. She
says that.
Well,
she said this is what you wanted.
I said I was like, oh, it'd be cool to go back to Peace River. Okay,
that sounds
I'll
like
tell
you
Dan.
wanted it to be.
Where's this camping trip?
So it's Arcadia, Florida. It's like 2 hours west of here, southwest of here. Anyway, we started doing this birthday camping trip when I was a teenager, when I was like 17, on my 17th birthday, and we did it every single year on President's Day weekend until I was 29.
Yes.
We did it, and then
it's like the white trash Bohemian Grove.
And then all my friends would go.
Nice
Every
reference.
year they gather.
Yeah.
And,
But this was before kids, and at 29, we all collectively decided that was it. We were tired of fucking camping in tents and shit. Everybody had careers at that point and jobs. They were like, we have, this sucks.
We're gonna
Right.
We're gonna ride this .com bubble.
And then
No more camping.
And then, of course, everybody had kids, and then and now for my 40th, we're going back to Peace River, and then with all my friends and the
It's
kids,
like
there's 15 to 20 kids going, and
It's like
shit.
a new reboot
Nightmare.
of it. Like where they all go back.
Yeah, but they're also not doing it like they used to.
Yeah.
Now
'Cause
they're
in the
basically,
book-
basically they're glamping now.
No, it's not glamping. There's tents, but there is a porta potty that we rented.
Yeah,
I'm anti
houses.
I'm
You're
anti.
at a campsite, right? You're not canoeing down there.
We are
No,
canoeing.
You are canoeing?
We are canoeing.
They deliver your shit in a trailer, and then you
Oh,
canoe
you get it trailered to you
an
now.
hour and a half,
Yeah.
and then to
Damn.
the spot or whatever, and then whatever.
You used to throw your stuff in the canoe and bring it yourself?
Yeah, 22 miles.
It's awesome.
22 miles.
22.
Like total, we'd stop in
It's
the middle
fat.
of nowhere.
You haul ass. I mean, you're drunk. You're just laying there, and it just rockets you down the river. Don't act like it was hard. It's not hard.
Then you got to go back up the river, though.
No,
right?
no.
Oh,
When you're there, you're just like, this is where we live now.
Well, no,
We're like, this is it.
they bus you up the river, and then you canoe back to your car or whatever. That's what we used to do, and this is kind of similar. It's
And
just
then-
easier with kids and whatever.
And then on the way home, you hit Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it tastes better than any Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
after camping?
Yeah, like any
Yeah.
food you eat after camping, you're just like, this is the greatest food.
Well, I was going to ask Dan, and then we got a bunch to talk about, but when's the last time that you pooped in the woods without, just walked into the woods and
Hi,
with
good to
toilet
see you again.
paper?
It's been 3 years. When's the last time you
let's get
pooped
into
in the
it.
woods?
Let's get into it.
Because the last time I did it was when I was 29, the last camping trip that
So
we went.
11 years ago.
Yes. And
I, too, 11 years ago, shat in the woods.
yeah. And
And more comes out.
Daniel loves it. I am
love it.
awkward about it. Just
More poop
because
comes out because you're forced to poop like you're supposed to poop, which
Right.
is flat feet, squat, and poop coming out, right? That's how
you're talking about real in the woods, right? Like by a log or whatever, like not by in a porta potty. not
No,
like
yeah,
right, right.
just
in the
poop
woods.
on the floor.
Yeah.
I
In the wild.
prefer it.
Moving
I
on
prefer
in the
it.
ground.
I can do it. I can do it anywhere. I'm awesome at it.
You should have one of those things in your home that, like, what is that thing where you
Squatty potty?
Squatty potty.
Yeah.
To replicate it.
I've never wanted one because I've always felt that that's just a little. It's like VR shitting in the woods. It's a little. They're trying to
Put a bunch of plants in your bathroom.
That's not a
Just
bad
get a bunch of
idea.
house plants and
You could do this.
Potty.
He's become obsessed with plants. He didn't know that since he's now a botanist and has a whole poison ivy's lair. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think 10 years though, about 10 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was right around. I'm trying to think the last time I went camping. It would have been the last time I went camping with my mom and stepdad because we would just go growing up in Central Idaho to not campgrounds. Like when I first went to a campground in my early 30s, like a real campground. I was like, wait, there's cement slabs, there's porta potties, there's places for your fire. I'm like, we would just go. My buddy's got 100 acres.
Yeah,
up
just
here,
go
or
into
this-
the woods.
or
Nice.
this Forest Service land, and you just go on logging roads, and you're like, this looks good, and you just have a random spot, and everybody's shitting in the woods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there's some anxiety with shitting in the woods.
I don't know why you guys.
You think a bear's going to run up on you?
Well,
bugs?
other
What
people,
is the worst thing that could happen to you?
other people seeing me look at that.
Yeah, but that's on them, not you. You don't see. You have. There's nothing going on there. That's for them.
Some creepy guy who's just been jerking off in the woods already. He's already behind a tree, you're way out there, and he's like, "Hey, buddy."
Pudge is going to see your fudge.
It's just you're vulnerable when you're pooping in the woods, and it's like you're putting your you have to lean over to not poop on your own jeans or
No,
pants.
you don't know how
You
to
wear
do
your
it,
jeans
man.
to go poop?
No,
Then
you
it's like
step out one hole. Everybody knows you step out, swivel it to the side, and hold it out.
You wear jeans camping?
Well,
I don't wear jeans.
In the past, if it's
I
cold,
wear parachute pants. That's the only thing I wear. You got to have pockets. All my knives. I carry 37 pocket knives.
I like to find a little tree, like you hold onto a branch and lean back.
Oh,
so then you're,
I like that.
also have
That's called the Fat Joe.
lean back. Lean back.
I love it.
I also have concern about getting it on the shorts or whatever, or the shoes. So that's why you got to like you're doing a squat, like
you're stretching your what are those called? Not your hammies, but the other ones.
Your quads.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know the body,
but then you fall.
I'm just learning it.
Your leg fronts. So your front leg muscles.
So Dan, how's podcasting? You've got multiple podcasts now, and you've grown your empire, your podcast empire, and it's huge. I follow you on social media. I mean, just from this tour and the venues you're playing, and the amount of people that are Time Suck, and all the other podcast it's unbelievable.
Thanks. It's been. I feel like coming back on the road, I kind of realize more that I know things are going good. And I'm very grateful, but it's I'm so focused on week to week content creation. And, and as you grow, you kind of have a team help with other things. And so you don't check, especially when I wasn't touring as much, you're not out meeting people and things. So it's almost like you're in this weird basement laboratory, go do your research, monkey. And they put, and then every 3 months you come out and you're like, oh, people do like it.
Right.
You become a little bit more detached. So I'm glad I'm back on the road and oh yeah, this is real. The last couple of years felt like a weird, the Matrix kind of glitched a little bit.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's no way to really know if people are even listening. You think they are.
Right. And you can check the numbers and stuff, but then it's my crazy brain is but they don't really like it. Yeah, they're hanging on by a thread.
It's interesting because numbers, you can look at numbers and okay, that they represent an actual download from an IP address.
Sure,
how it works, and so you're okay, this is a human. These numbers are real. Unlike social media and some things like that, where things you're oh wait, is this real? But there's no connection, which you've always had with your audience and the stand-up.
The connection grounds it to me. And you only need one person. In a weird way, even having one of our listeners like Christine that I really care about here, it's cool. It's okay, it's real. They are real. We're doing it. It's a real thing.
She doesn't seem like a robot. She does.
Exactly.
Very human.
I like that.
Which is an odd time, and let's talk about starting a tour back up, and the pandemic. It seems like hopefully it's coming to some sort of end, or at least people are tired of it, or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. But this
is just the tip.
How has it been? I don't know. How has it been even touring?
You guys have no idea what's fucking coming. I like being that guy.
When did you start this Symphony of Insanity tour?
Well, this one, it did... let's see. No, I guess it just started in the fall. It started in the fall, and then just carrying over to this year.
Okay.
And then we'll record something at the end of this year is the plan, and then start a new tour, next year.
Did you have to, how many of these did you have to move or manipulate, or was it all pretty much, or is it pretty much going the way you wanted it to, or are you having to?
Since we started again, because I stopped touring, March 2020.
Yeah.
And then there was this thing, where nobody knew what was going on and what, as far as on the business level, what was going to be open and things. We initially moved everything 2 weeks. My agent was we're just going to push everything 2 weeks, and then we're good.
All blow over.
All blow over in 2 weeks. And then it went to pushing it another month. And it's okay, now we'll be good. And then eventually, after 2 or 3 pushes, I was I don't want to keep doing this. And people are mad, and it's understandable. Hey, how come you cancel this date? And I'm well, it's not my call, it's the venue, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so we just ended up waiting until August of last year, because then it felt like things were stable.
Yeah.
And I will say, we haven't had, the only thing we've had to cancel this time, and it was COVID-related, was in Austin, Texas. It wasn't mandates. It was these supply chain problems. A club was supposed to open, but they can't get any of their equipment to open. And that's happened actually twice. We had Austin, and then we replaced it with Richmond, and then that club also couldn't open. So it was two clubs that were doing one was doing a grand opening, a re-grand opening. Yeah, they couldn't get their those industrial whatever kitchen supplies that are more specialty, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And they just, the shipment was supposed to come, and now it got, and we've experienced that. We did a little bit of a remodel, and it's we've been waiting on this, a new front door for, I think, 9 months. something. You know, there's some things that are just.
I waited 8 months.
Yes.
I waited 8 months for a birthday gift of a Dream guitar.
Oh, cool!
It's a Martin acoustic guitar,
Nice.
but it kept getting pushed back, and then not only that, but the price of the wood.
Yeah,
I would actually see it reflected in the cost of the guitar, and then I'd have to write them and be like, "Well, are you charging me more?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, because it all went up. It's a handmade instrument." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
yeah.
See you in 9 months." But I ended up getting it right, $7 and some change. It took.
Yeah.
When normally you could just go to Guitar Center, Sam Ash, just pick up something. They didn't have anything. Plus the demand was high because people were bored. So.
Right.
Very odd.
That's the only thing I've experienced as far as tour weird kind of glitch, and then just as far as the audience, as far as mask or no mask. The only thing that happened that was a little unusual was 2 days before a show in I feel bad. It was just north of Denver, not Boulder. I had a lot of fun at some place I can't remember, but it was just north.
It's easy to forget places in Colorado because it's very fun.
It's all cool.
It's
fun.
very
It's all
fun.
cool.
And then my wife will be like, "Do you remember on that gondola and the views?" And I'm like, "Not really, but I'll take your word for it. I was really high."
But it was a little theater hour or two north of Denver, and that county had a different mandate.
Is it Loveland or
Yes,
Loveland?
it was Loveland. Yeah, thank you. Loveland, Colorado.
That's creepy.
Super
How'd you know that?
cool little theater.
I googled Dan Cummins, Colorado.
And 2 days before we got there, they had a different mandate come through, and the whole audience also had to be masked, and everybody, and that was just a little weird. That was one thing I didn't want to go back and perform to. I kept thinking of Handmaid's Tale. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where it's it is weird when you're conditioned for so many years to study people's faces. That's the communication with stand-up. You're talking.
That's your
it's not just
cues.
laughs. You're looking at their body position, but mostly you're looking at their face. Because are they smiling? How does their energy kind of feel? And you feed off of that. And when you're just looking into a sea of eyeballs, it is creepy as shit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is a weird vibe, and then it muffles their laughs too. And so you're just like, what is happening? And you understand rationally why somebody felt like they needed to make that choice, but it's not fun. It's not like a fun show to do that way, compared to what it would be otherwise. And so I'm glad that's only happened once, because I did say virtual shows. I had no interest in doing stand-up virtual shows. I did one for charity and I hated it.
Yeah.
Would have never done it if it wasn't for charity. And then I was like, well, if it has to be masked audiences, I'll just not do stand-up. Because it would just make me sad. It was just this is a bastardized, shitty version of what I used to love.
Yeah,
sure.
But it hasn't been. I would say the crowds have been awesome. They're so excited to be out. People who come out are pumped.
Have you noticed an increase in people talking through the show? Or
great question.
You have you have a unique scenario in which I feel like the majority of people going to see your show are your fans to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's
I've been wanting to ask
very
you
rare
this,
random people going. But me and Daniel went to see two different
Samantha
comedians.
was with me. Sam and I went to see Miss Pat.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And she was,
and Ari Shafir.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and they're both really, really sweet. They were awesome, right?
Yeah.
But both of those shows had
They're rowdy.
Well, the Miss Pat one had a guy that just and you can go back and listen to the show, but he just kept yelling anytime she'd say a punchline. He would tag it with truth. Oh yeah, truth.
Oh my God.
And it happened every joke. So for me, I couldn't
and
turn
Ari Shafir, we had a guy behind us that was just repeating the punchline every time. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
There is. It's. I think it's fading a little bit now because people have been out longer. But I worried about that, about people's social skills, and just because they've been home too much.
Yeah, but they
haven't had other people in public being like, "What are you doing?" or anybody confronting them. And our society has gotten way less confrontational than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's it's so funny. I promoted therapy. I've been doing the online therapy and stuff. And it's I'm more old school, just the way I was raised. Where parenting with coworkers, very quick to be like, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on right now?" Like that. And I'm like, people don't like that. People don't like that. Out in public, I've yelled at people in movie theaters to shut the fuck up. And but I've seen now I'm
to be fair,
I have to
if
stop
you
doing
yelled that, I probably would shut the fuck up. But Tom yelled it, I'd be like,
how dare you?
Yeah, if you yelled it, I'd be like, who the fuck is this nerd? If you yelled it, I'd be like, hello, nurse.
No, but I've worked on, for a variety of reasons, calming down about that stuff. But also, it would be constant now. There is just, and I've noticed it at the airport and stuff, people dressed in their pajamas, like on their computer, holding their computer, watching their show without headphones. Like that. I'm like, you're not in your fucking basement right now. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like, I was worried, is that going to translate to shows? And it did initially, where it's like, yeah, people would come to a show, but have the energy as if they're watching it on TV at home, because that's where they've been the last year and a half.
It's weird how they felt
coming out of that.
It was. I mean, yours was. I think your instance was.
It was kind of the same. It was like they were fans. It was at this Jim Jeffries show.
Oh yeah, you probably got some rowdier fans too.
It just the guy they were they were fans.
Dr. Phillips, so you would almost think the venue would almost dictate, oh, it's Dr. Phillips, like
a little price.
Normally when it's Dr. Phillips, it kind of knocks out a lot of the normal guy. Improv's the same way. We have venues in town that you expect that. I don't really expect that for lower tier places, an open mic, something like that.
Of course.
You know?
Sure.
I don't expect it at Hard Rock. We had it at Marin.
Oh yeah, we had a lady got thrown out at Marin.
Yeah,
Mark Marin?
Yeah, we had a lady be he just got drug out. My wife stood up and said, "You're ruining my time." I'm like, oh my God.
I love it.
But someone needs to say something.
That's
right?
great. Good for her. Good for her.
It made me so uncomfortable. Normally, I would do that, but I've been trying to do different. I've been trying to be a different boy.
I know, me too. I've been trying to be calmer.
But no, I don't think you should. I think you need to yell at them. Like, you're the only one, Dan. You're like,
You're our only hope, Dan. You're our only hope.
Because
Please yell for us.
I went to go say something, and my wife's like, "Don't say anything." And because I think everybody's afraid that it'll somehow escalate into some
My wife always
situation.
says it to me. She's always like, "Please, please." She didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
She just goes, she does the Cosby. She's calm, but calm.
Well, there is that weird thing where it's like, you have to be aware of how you look. When I'm out with my wife, I let she runs her mouth, like Lindsay, and I kind of like it, because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable, especially if it's somebody who is smaller, or especially if it's female. I'm like, I look like, I've joked about it in stand-up, but I do look like a bad guy in a Lifetime movie. I have
full tattoos,
dark features.
Buff.
It's like, and if I get mad, it's fucking terrifying to some people. So it's like, but if she gets mad, then my game now is like, say something to her. Just fucking. Now I can be justified as the guy sticking up for his wife.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, let her start it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just stare at him, and then I'm like, please say something. Because then if you say something to her, then I'm going to rip your fucking head off.
My God. All right. I see it now.
It's a game. It's a game.
But then you're wrestling on the floor.
There are some people, it's like I'm not some super tough guy. It's like, and I also think about that too, like where I live, especially in Coeur d'Alene, like, there's a lot of guys who are probably quicker than average to fight and have like maybe less to lose and stuff like that.
Those are the ones you worry about.
Yep, and I do think about that. I'm like, okay, so I get in a fight, win or lose. I get in a fight with somebody over making too much noise at the movies. It's like I get my ass kicked, possibly, or if I don't get my ass kicked, I kick the shit out of them and then lose everything. And then now I'm in
Dan
in
Cummins
jail being like,
arrested for movie theater.
But that guy learned his lesson.
Yeah,
You're on the internet. He was in jail last week, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
So
I don't know.
Dan, I want to ask.
Norm, real quick, just because he wants to ask. We have a Twitch chat guy. He was there at the time that we were doing the Miss Pat thing. He wants to know your opinion. Professional comic, top tier. When we, as patrons, me, Sam, Norm, we were sitting there in this instance, how should we handle it? Because, should we... I thought about calling the club from my seat and being, come to my
Sure. Contacting the staff, absolutely.
Just get the staff and handle it.
I've seen people do the just the hard, like, shh.
Right.
A shush.
I thought that would make it worse.
It can. Sometimes a shush will set somebody off, and now they're in a good venue where they have. I mean, right now, that's another thing though. Staffing problems are very real.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've talked to clubs about that, and it's unfortunate where it's like they don't have the enforcers they may have once had. They have a staff that's real quick to quit in a lot of instances. Like the whole Great Resignation thing is very real.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem where sometimes it does just kind of suck. Where it's like in a perfect world, you talk to the club. Let your waiter or waitress like, hey, can you please have somebody quiet them down, and then the staff will handle it. And I've noticed like most places I go now, it's like they'll ask me, it's like, hey, how do you want to handle audience members? and I'll say like, if they're just disrupting.
I'll beat them up.
if they're
I didn't know you had a choice. I was like, let's go capital punishment on these motherfuckers.
I wish it was like that kind of choice. Execute them.
Yeah. You know what? No, but do something. They should get something really fucked up the first time, which is, look, we're not going to do nothing to you physical. We're just going to take your shoes and socks off and burn them in a drum. We're burning your shoes. You have no shoes to walk home. You're done. We burn them in this oil drum, and that's what you get. If you do it again, we'll beat you up. You get the shoe burn.
I'm just imagining some like really hardcore thing where it's like the show's going on, like someone's talking, and then like there's no warning, there's nothing. Staff just comes up, and literally puts a gun to their temple, and fucking blows them right and then I just like comment. I'm like,
the
whole crowd. Yeah, the whole crowd's like, oh my god, repeat the punchline.
Right.
What'd he say?
People are scared. I'm like, hey, everybody, calm down. It's okay. They were talking too loud, so they were killed. Just stay quiet and you'll be fine. Anyway,
You can laugh.
You know what? We should get a hold of our buddy Tizzy and do a short film starring Dan Cummins where that happens. I wouldn't mind seeing that and just play that before stand-up.
Oh my God, yes.
This is how
That's actually a good
we
call.
can't do this, but this is what we would like to do to you.
Yeah.
I've had a fantasy. It's like obviously I couldn't do this for a variety of legal reasons, but just like, but how it would be so funny to me just to like come up on stage and then just set like a 9mm just like on the stool and not address it.
Right.
And then just do this, and then maybe when someone's talking, just pick it up and just kind of fidget with it.
Yeah.
Or just set it back down.
Rub the hand. Just brush your middle finger across the top of the steel, a little bit, so they see it.
Right.
That's
but
pretty
no,
awesome.
you should talk to the staff. I mean, that's how that's.
Okay.
In most venues, they will have somebody talk to them. And what I will do from the stage is I try to ignore it if there's a lot going on.
She stopped the show.
But if there's somebody really particular, it's just like, hey, what are you doing?
Miss Pat stopped the show.
Okay, good.
It's
good.
It's embarrassing though, because like we want her to like Orlando,
Right.
So then we have
want her
Miss
to come
Pat,
back.
and this was a quote from her. She's like, "Y'all motherfuckers are not being respectful. I'm up here on stage with brand new material that you're going to get to hear before anybody else, and I have a choice of whether to stop or continue. So do you want to continue?" And then I have to sit there like a child because this dickhead.
Yeah.
And then I'm
And
getting.
she's looking in our direction.
And
we're
guess
like,
who's the only person she
Who's
fucking
this?
recognizes are you and I.
Yeah.
And we're like, hi.
She from the stage, Dan, Samantha. I don't know what the fuck you thought.
Fuck up.
It was so,
damn it.
it was really nice though. We try to just be respectful,
So what happened with YouTube? Because it's an interesting thing
Did
about.
he approve that? Is that on the sheet?
Well, I don't know.
When we got suspended?
Yeah. Because this has been
What are
going.
you guys doing over there?
What's interesting to me?
They go hard.
Well, first, like, why is it just some algorithm that picked up? How did it work?
Well, we found out like the two. It's their AI bots, which is annoying. One was an old Pizzagate topic, which is weird. It never got in trouble when we loaded it up, but it's like the AI bots don't understand sarcasm, and they're like anti-conspiracy, and it's like they don't understand that I'm doing a topic on a conspiracy that I'm also against, and I'm breaking down and I'm making fun of it. And then in the comments, that one for telling, I don't even know, Joe Paisley will like run the YouTube replies a lot of times. I don't know if he was saying like, hey, just shut up, or what are you doing? Like there was a lot of comments about how like basically I was a Illuminati shill, I guess. I didn't even read them. And somehow in our replies we got accused of cyberbullying. So for telling people to shut up about a crazy conspiracy, we got accused of cyberbullying. I've had flags. This is my friend Doug on Instagram. He'll post pictures of cute dogs. He's like, look at this asshole. It's just a stupid thing. And I'll just post comments like, kill it now. Like just being ridiculous.
Seen these. Yeah, this is funny.
And then I get flagged for cyberbullying and for threats.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't
Threats of
understand.
violence.
Threats of violence. And then the second time was on Is We Dumb, we put links in the episode description, and one of them was to a fake porn site that was furniture porn. It wasn't porn. It was like furniture, lawn furniture arranged in like 69, doggy style, cowgirl.
Hey, I would have liked to waste some time with that.
Right.
Where's the link?
Right. But the AI bots read it as porn, and that we were pushing people to sexually explicit content, and so we got flagged again. And then we get flagged all the time for essentially dark jokes. We talk about serial killers and things. And again, the bots don't understand that if like I've talked about, like if you could take literally so many hours of things that I've said just slightly out of context, and it would far surpass what most people would get canceled for.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's horrific. But it's like, but it's satire. or it's sarcasm, but it's like the bots don't understand that.
I was going to talk.
They will, though. They'll get there.
Someday.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
some people don't get satire.
Some people don't get it either. That's true. That's true.
You know.
That's true.
That's what I wanted to kind of talk about because, like, coming from radio, right? We used to bitch about the FCC and how stupid the whole system was. But
the FCC won't let me be.
Yeah. What's interesting is the system that they had is almost better than the AI bots right now, and I'll explain. Is like the back in the radio days, the system, and I'm pretty sure it's still like this, but it was like someone had to complain and file a complaint before they'd look into something. So
and normally any complaint that had to be filed, and trust me, I know this because I still own one that was sent for something that I said back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
They need an audio cassette or a CD or an MP3. They need a proof of it.
Yeah.
If they have no proof, the likelihood of them ever doing anything is very rare.
But it still was based on a human complaint, and it's funny because back then I used to bitch about like, oh, one fucking crazy cat lady, or she wore a tinfoil hat, like she thinks we're talking to through her teeth.
Millions of complainds from one person. That whole thing.
And then it's like, how can this one complaint, and then it changes the content of a show that thousands of people like? This is absurd. And I used to bitch about that. Although now it's kind of in some of these platforms, YouTube, and even like Twitch kind of has it in a certain extent with like sexual stuff or whatever. But like we got flagged one time because I sat on a simian, one of our sponsors, and it wasn't like
is it a Sibian?
A Sibian or whatever. I just sat on.
We
it.
always get mechanical dick thrusters, right?
Well, but it didn't really have a dick. I wasn't nude. I just sat on it.
It's calming.
Yeah, okay, nice.
So like,
well, not using it, but watching it. I mean, it's like a fish tank.
So now because they obviously there's too much content being pumped out every second.
We got flagged yesterday on TikTok. We got Mr. Snarts, my puppet.
Yes.
When I was singing the song about all I want to do is eat some pussy, we got flagged.
For what?
For saying
like explicit content?
Yeah, I guess a puppet. Now, I can say I want to eat pussy, but I guess when a puppet says
can't?
it, maybe
it's kids.
Oh, God, okay.
Oh, my God.
So it's interesting.
I just went along with my day. I was like, okay.
Endangering minors,
that it's almost a form of being more censored because these AI bots, they don't understand sarcasm stuff. Like if a human listened to them, they would be like, all right, but they can't because this too big, and YouTube and these giant other platforms, they have to enlist AI bots to keep control, but it does fuck over people that don't deserve it.
And that system of a few people like you talked about complaining, and then it ruined something for a lot of people. I mean, that happened to our private Facebook group. We had this Cult of the Curious, and it was pretty big when it was between 25 and 30,000 when it got shut down, and they shut it down because I think that was a combination of that might have been bots, but it was definitely people in a private group saying, I don't like this, or I don't like this. It's
like reporting it.
Right, reporting it.
Which was... We bring up all the time with our BDMs of like, hey, you guys got to watch what you post because this shit will get reported, and they will shut it down.
Right.
Like, Facebook will straight up shut down your
We couldn't
group.
reopen it or nothing.
Yeah.
Their final decision was like, it's just erased.
Yeah,
and,
it's gone.
Did you have to start over?
Had to start over, but then that's so frustrating.
It is crazy because you're a small business owner.
It's a private group.
Yeah.
I hate people like that. There's literally nothing I would complain about. Because I would just leave. Well, I shouldn't say that. If it was like, hey, here's an image of executing a child, I'd be like, flag.
Get this.
There is a line.
There's a line.
Can I just hide?
It's a snuff film.
Can I just hide and come back? Maybe they're going through a dark period. Or I would like to see less
mute
of,
or whatever it is.
I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
I'm mute for 30 days. I give you 30 days to clean up your kid
Stop
execution.
killing kids.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people are like, oh, that joke upset me. Then leave the group.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when like YouTube,
God, we were just talking about that this morning, weren't we?
Yep.
And they will make it so they'll suspend you for a certain amount of time where you can't put your content up, which hurts your business and obviously a lot of things. And then it's a big giant pain in the ass over nothing because it was nothing and it was a misunderstanding. But it's impossible to get. Good luck getting someone on the line from YouTube to handle the problem. It's impossible.
Any of these places, And I understand the business business perspective, it's their right to decide what content they want on their platform. They own this. It's a private company.
Yeah.
I respect, like free speech is huge for me, but also the right to run your business how you want it. There's freedom there too. I just don't like, it's just the people, the bots is annoying. And it's just, so I just, then in moments like that, when YouTube is having too many bots do things, I just pray for a market disruptor to come along and be the new YouTube. I'm like, please, somebody else come along so we can go to your platform.
Yeah.
But then the other stuff with like Facebook, the way they do it, I get more annoyed at the users. I'm like, why are you doing this? You're like the annoying kid in class who like fucking tattled because you heard somebody talking about dick or pussy or something. It's like, I fucking hated you when I was 16, and I fucking hate you more now. You're just a
ruiner. We used to have a concept
fun
for that.
killer.
Remember, but those guys were we had anyway.
But then you forget how many people are mentally ill out there.
Yeah.
There's that
or
too.
just straight up trolls.
Or bored.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just do it out of boredom. What happened with the RSS?
Oh, that is another thing.
Not to pick your brains about, hey, tell us about all the hardships you've had, and not about your comedy tour and all the good things. But I'm fascinated by it because
figured that out.
Normally I'm the guy punching those numbers, and that stuff is terrifying to me. This year we had our Twitter hacked.
Okay, yep.
And that was one of the single hardest and scary, not scary, it wasn't going to end my world, but scary from a business aspect, because I was like, there's no one to talk to. So we have these bots, and they don't understand my humor, but they can pull me down. And when I talked to them, they were writing back, Twitter was writing back to me, basically, this automated response was, I was in an auto response loop where no matter what I said, the bot would say, yeah, we got nothing, and we'll never have nothing, and let's just stay in this loop, because it's kind of fun. I'm a bot, and I'm built to stay in a loop, so let's loop it up.
I understand that you are frustrated as much as I can for a program that does not have emotion.
But then, but then we found a guy, and then we got a listener of ours hit us up and was like, within this Silicon club, I'm a Facebookman. I know Twitterman, and I'll talk to them, and as a courtesy, because we're in the same space, I can hook you up. And damned if it didn't work.
That's amazing.
Why is that the thing, though? Is that imagine if you're just,
No, you just get screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, the Google thing that happened to us, and it's annoying that it's happened twice.
Yeah, the RSS feed deal. Yeah, I saw you talking about that.
No, I mean, and luckily Google is not because it's not like just Android users. If an Android user is using what is it, like Overcast? Like some of those big, it's not going to affect usage there. Like we have a small percentage of listeners who actually use the Google's their own native app, because I don't think it's that good. But
the interface, the UI that people talk about,
but what they do is, and somebody at our ad agency was talking about this because I reached out to them. But it's this crazy thing where it's the only app podcast player that does this. Nobody else does anything like this. Everybody else, you submit your RSS feed from your hosting platform and say I want to be on this, and this, and then these other third-party apps, they'll pick up Apple's RSS feed for your show and just mirror it, replicate it. So that takes care. Google, though, is we have our AI bots comb the internet constantly. They're little Matrix fucking robots. Are constantly combing the internet, and if they see two. Basically like your feed, and then somebody who has hijacked your feed or mirrored it, stolen it, whatever you want to call it, they see two things. They use some weird formula to determine which one is the correct one, as opposed to just going with the person who actually has ownership. And what's crazy about it is you go into your Google Podcast portal, you have to verify that it's your feed. Yeah. They have to send you a two-factor authentication, all these things, so that the email associated with the RSS feed on the hosting site matches the email you have in Google's podcast portal for this podcast you're claiming. So they do that part right. But then once they put it out there, they allow this weird back channel way to hijack it, where they're like, yeah, we understand that one's yours, but this other one, I don't know, they made a good case for it being theirs. And so we're going to give it to them. And then you have to go back and be like, no, it's not theirs. And you have to submit all these things. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. And they immediately get back basically with, yeah, you're right. That's not the correct feed. Within 2 weeks, this should be resolved. And meanwhile, this other thing is running their own ads on your podcast.
Yeah, using it.
And using it, and your ads don't get run on your own podcast.
Crazy.
And it's just... no one. I was like, why do they do this? And everybody I've talked to, like on the inside of the tech side, was like, we have no idea.
Yeah, the automation aspect of things is tricky. I hate that aspect of our business.
If Google gets some kind of weird kickback for doing that, for running other ads. Because why the fuck would you do that?
There's some robot overlord.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
I want more Bitcoin.
The fuck?
I'm trying to buy a mini bike, like Dan is.
Like,
I can never have enough mini bikes, right? Go-karts are silly things to buy. Yeah, it's just these robots have needs. They want fun toys, super soakers and Nerf guns, and
or whoever wrote that like software or something. I don't know.
That's
fucking weird.
Yeah, when I saw that, it sunk my heart, man. When I saw it was like, sorry, Google users, we're down right now, and I'm like, oh god,
we just got it back.
What's interesting though is like I was telling Tom this morning, it's just like radio, because back in the day, you'd have a day where I'd come into work. And they'd be like, hey, it's going to be an easy day. We're on 10%. I mean, what do you mean we're on 10%? Well, the tower went down. We're only broadcasting locally, so that means only people within a 30-mile radius can get this show.
Wow. Yeah.
Like 30 miles, that's like nobody. They're like, let's do it. Let's be racist. They'll love it. For this. But this is our opportunity. But it's exactly the same thing. It's like it goes down, and then it's like, it's virtually all the same stuff.
Yeah. Dan, tell me about the summer camp. Because I saw you promoting this, and I was like, this is a great idea.
It looks amazing.
I know not as much as I should. Lindsay is running point on that. We have an event planner. But basically, it's like... we had like, I think inspired by you guys, your social event. Yeah, absolutely inspired because we had like a little tiny gathering, like, I don't know, a year and a half in, where we had, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 people just come out to Coeur d'Alene, see the studio, nothing really that organized.
Okay.
And then somebody else kind of set it up, and we were surprised that people wanted to come out there. We're like, oh, okay. So then the next year we made it a little bit more organized, had like a dinner, had some activities that we all did together.
That's
and then,
so cool.
And that one was like super fun. But then the pandemic hit, and so we couldn't do it. And then, still couldn't do it the next year. We did like virtual things, like, like basically like a big Zoom type situation.
Yeah. And
then what we wanted to do something big, since it had been like a couple years. And I don't even remember. It probably was Lindsay's idea to set it up this way, but we rented out a big Boy Scout camp. So it's like it is like a traditional kids summer camp, but we're retro. Like we're gonna have food trucks. We're going to have bands.
This is dope.
We're going to have, like, so people can, like, sleep over, and it's, like, themed camps.
No Boy Scouts, right?
There's going to be Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Are you going to have a blob, a rainbow blob?
I make it real word, just with the addition of one word. We're going to have sexy Boy Scouts. They're going to be in cages, and they're going to be part of the
sexy caged Boy Scouts. the YouTube bots are just
yes.
This
sexy
show gets shut down.
Boy Scouts.
We put it out. Shut down.
I'm calling Dan. I'm like, hey, they got our RSS. Yeah, sexy caged Boy Scouts.
That's what finally did us in.
But we're gonna have like the Scared to Death, Is We Dumb, Time Suck, like different like themed camps, and just have lots of kind of like social activities. There's going to be, but there'll be like, it'll be a proper thing. There'll be security. There'll be buses that'll get people, because there's going to be some people who are staying overnight, and then other people who'll just, stay in town, and then we'll have buses taking them there. But it's going to be people, it starts Friday night, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then like a goodbye breakfast Monday morning, and then that's it. And I think the tickets are going to go on sale March 15th at noon Pacific time.
That's amazing.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
There'll be a little bit more info then.
That'll
be a live Scared to Death, live As We Dumb, like, and then some people who are listeners who are in bands.
Do you like doing the live stuff? The live podcast?
For me, it's just come down to time. I do. It's just come down to time. It's like in the last, like, I'm going to figure out this next year how to pull back on some content, because I just, like, I just got stressed a little bit too thin.
Yeah.
So I feel it in moments where
You'll burn yourself out, let me tell you.
Yeah, when I felt that. For the first time, I felt like this last year some burnout. And just like we have these weird emotions where you're angry to do the thing that you love to do.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing it too much.
Yeah.
So like the live podcast, I would do more if I had more time. But it's like, but there's just not time with stand-up. But so it's going to be fun to do it at the camp. Like, and I've never done a live Scared to Death with Lindsay. I've done live Time Sucks. And I think I'm in a woodsy setting, scary stories at night.
I think it's
Hell
cool.
yeah.
It's great, man.
I think it's ideal. I really
I'm
do.
excited.
Yeah, and
Love to see if we could weasel our way out there.
Oh, you guys are. Yeah,
well, that place is such a hip, like, cool. Everybody I know is saying they're going to that area, and they have no idea they might listen, but they don't know you. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like, it has nothing to do with that. But
it's
in some
exploded.
weird
It's
way,
crazy.
like, that area is so... It's always mentioned as like, oh, yeah, you got to come out here. It's lovely. Everybody loves it.
Dan,
I would love to get you guys out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was going to ask
Camp or
you
no
about
camp, anytime, yeah.
about the.
Oh, we can camp again. You love camping.
I know.
Canoe. There's a series of rivers. If you start canoeing, it's going to be hard to get over the Continental Divide.
Yeah.
But, like,
If I get out,
let me give you a map.
I'm covering sexy Boy Scouts.
I can get to the Gulf and then get to the Mississippi, and I'm sure there's some shit that can get me over.
I don't even know what that means.
I want to ask you about your son getting his driver's license.
Oh, God,
because because I follow
going
everything
so
on social
fast.
social media.
You said it would, but my God.
Well, and that's part of the pulling back a little bit too. I just realized, like, you're in the building phase of your business, and then the justification is to work a crazy amount of hours to support the family, all those things. And then when it's working and you're still working a crazy amount of hours and your kids are getting older, you're like, what am I doing? How am I justifying this? Because it's crazy. Like, that hit me when he's driving. It's like, oh my God, he's going to be gone soon.
Yeah, he's independent. He's driving his own car.
Yeah.
And
He's a good driver.
Well, going back to like the pandemic, because we experienced a little bit of this, like pandemic changed your workflow, and then it's like, all right, I'll focus on this or whatever.
Yeah.
So then you start focusing on new projects, and then all of a sudden things stop and opening up back up again, and then you start doing the stuff you used to do and the stuff
the old projects
and the stuff you started during the pandemic. And you were mentioning that with doing more podcasts, and the podcast schedule got ramped up, and then all of a sudden you're back to touring, and now it's too much, right?
Yeah. So now it's just going to be figuring out like what Jenga pieces to kind of pull away, just in the sense too of like, the content will, if you're doing too much for too long, it will just degrade.
Yeah,
listeners will start to feel it.
Write that down. Write that down.
Oh, buddy.
They'll hear the shortcut.
I feel like I'm in full degrade mode right now.
But I mean, there is like
little Danny degrade.
Not to talk the business side of things, but you start doing more content, which then you have more inventory for commercials, and then you get more commercials. But then like you start looking at it like, I'm doing too much content, but now I have no place to put the commercials, which now is part of the business. So what the fuck do I do? It's how it becomes complicated.
Yeah, exactly. It does. So we haven't, we're still kind of figuring out how to make it, because you want to keep it going. Like, for me, it's like it was such an interesting ride of like, an experiment at first with your guys' encouragement of like, hey, you can do this, and you do it, and then it starts working. But you never, at least I don't ever expect anything to work.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you throw it out and then see. And then I was so used to kind of moving on, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it worked. So then now you have this great problem. Not even a problem. It's like, okay, now I just got to keep this going. But you don't know how much energy it's going to take until you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And then you add another thing, and you're like, well, let's see if this works. This will be fun. But then you're like, oh, it does work. Awesome. Okay, but now I got to keep this going. And then after a while, you get a bunch of, and then we've been fortunate. We have a bunch of projects that have all worked to various degrees. And then after a couple of years of keeping them all, you're going like, oh, I'm getting kind of tired.
Yeah. And it's like perfect. Perfectly said. That's exactly how it feels.
And you don't want to disappoint the audience because if you do
there's
pull
a
back,
relationship
they're
there,
like,
right?
hey,
We care about you.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
they don't believe it when you say that.
No, but you totally do.
Some of them do. But I'm like, I care about you. And they're like,
fear of disappointing them.
Yeah.
It's almost like you want to let people down.
Yeah.
That's exactly the problem is like if you pull back any content, and we've talked about that, even talking about it, people are like, don't do it. And they're like, fine. Like, I don't know.
We switch a day, like we switched to Thursdays to tape some BDM stuff. So I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, and then Mondays and stuff like that.
I did it too with mine. I only do mine every other week now. I'm like, I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm recording,
Right, you run out of
I'm
hours.
recording too much.
Yeah.
My whole life's recorded.
Right.
I tried to pull back from my family. But I found
I think you're doing it the wrong way.
that this is true. I pulled back from my family, but I found that the bond between Maisie and Andrea was getting so like lopsided that I needed to get back over there to like kind of like, hey, I'm in the mix. I'm here. Yeah, I mean, daddy.
Well, there is that thing, too, where like, just talking about the content where it's like, that's where it started hitting me the last like 6 months of like still more moments where it's like, it just became the regular routine where it's like, okay, you guys, Lindsay and the kids, you guys go have fun. I'm going to go be on my laptop. And like again, and it's like again and again and again and again. You're like, what am I doing? And so it's like finding that mix of like, it's like I want to keep doing it all. And because I love doing it all now, it's like at first it was like not knowing how long it's going to stick. And now it's like, well, now I want to keep this going for a long time because I enjoy it. Fans enjoy it. It's the best possible scenario.
Yeah.
But in order to keep it going for a long time, I gotta manage some more life balance.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Write down scenario. You say scenario, and it makes you sound like a hillbilly. I'm just pointing that out. Write that down. We're learning a lot.
I love write that down.
I'm soaking everything up from Dan, so we know what to do in round 3 of Tom and Dan. Where are we?
You guys
4?
have been doing it for how long?
12
It'll
years
be 13 this April.
Years.
Yeah.
I'm a rookie still compared to, so you guys have had like, I'm sure, an interesting arc that way. Where
I don't know, less of an arc, more of a, I call it a dent.
I was going to talk to you about this because, like, we've been doing it for a long enough now where I'm looking at 10 years in the future. We're 5 years ago, I was like,
we have flying cars. Flying cars.
You get into the mindset like 5 years ago where you're like, oh, we made it another year. It's good. Like, I can't believe we made it. And then all of a sudden,
that's what we've been.
Over and over and over. And then you're like, well, I'm going to assume we're going to make it for X amount of more years, so I should actually have longer term plans. And then, like, other small business owners would ask me, like, hey, what's your long term plan?
I hate it when
long term.
Oh, can I throw some stuff at you?
But
Seriously,
it's true.
don't get mad at me. Can I throw some stuff at you?
Sure.
Do you have any mentors? Do you have business mentors? People always ask me, well, who are your mentors? Who are you talking to? What's your schedule? What's your 10-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 2-year plan? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't know nothing. I got a 6-year-old. I got a wife. I'm trying to like work on that, make sure that stays together. I'm trying to make sure this guy doesn't hate me.
I know what you guys are saying. Like, that resonates, though, where it's like, you guys being in that next phase where we're just getting to the point, like, just now, where it feels... Maybe I should have felt this before, but it feels more stable.
Yeah.
But at first it was like, well, let's plan for this next year. And then let's plan for this next and hope it works. But it's like, I don't know, maybe just a more paranoid person. I don't know what my deal is in my brain. But it's like, I'm always ready for it to be like, well, it's probably going to go away tomorrow. And then just in the last year, it's like, maybe not. And I feel like it's now I want to change the pacing. I would just do another analogy. I feel like at first I was sprinting. I was like, I got to sprint. I got to run as fast as I can to get this stuff out because it's competitive, all this stuff. And then after 5 years, you're like, I'm still sprinting, but I'm running like a marathon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't sprint the whole marathon. I got to find a good pace.
Yeah. And
do you ever get embarrassed of what you've created and want to run?
Yes.
Sometimes I get embarrassed of what we've created, like it's a giant shit mountain, and I just want to run a 180. Seriously, and then I have this dream that I want to live under a bridge. Like seriously, these guys know. I want my solitude.
Sure.
I want my tarp. My dog with goggles, my shopping cart.
I forget all the horrible things I say constantly, and I do like saying like that kind of humor.
Yeah.
But sometimes in a different mood, I'll see like a clip of like one of the things I've said, and I just think about like my family, and like that's the image I've presented to the. I'm like, which is true. It's a true image.
Just play the Whipple,
also,
the prison thing you just did.
The Whipple prison riots.
That's still one of the fucking funniest, raddest things. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I don't even remember what I said. I'm sure a lot of horrible stuff about fucking meth and killing people.
And flames.
Lots
of flames. And bars. It's great.
Well, you bring a good point up that I feel like only good people are scared that things are going to end like around the corner, and bad people who have done horrible shit don't seem to
be the most successful.
Like Cosby's still
run this shit.
or like Epstein, like all these horrible people that have skeletons in their closet have done horrible shit. Don't seem to be worried about anybody finding it out until they do, and they're fucking in jail or whatever it is. But they're like, how is this person so calm in public, knowing the shit that they did, and knowing like we have nothing to hide, like we didn't do horrible shit that someone's gonna find out and like cancel us. But we're still constantly worried about it ending. But for what reason?
I find I use those people as like weird inspiration, like because Lindsay will worry too. She's like, because we were both raised pretty poor, grew up pretty poor. And actually,
I think
very
that's
poor.
What a lot of the mentality is, though.
It's just that fear of like
having to be poor again.
Like
everything's going to fall apart, and then I'm going to struggle again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think like for me, maybe even like analyzing myself, I watched my dad do that. Like it was like start to get things going a little bit, and then everything goes apart, and we're like, can't afford pizza again. So you see that, like, you see the wool, like, or the rug get pulled out from under, like, over and over and over. It kind of gets in your head. You're like, but then I reference these people, and Lindsay had similar things like growing up with her. But then we reference, and I won't say names, but like, we'll go to the specific like podcast or comedy community, and it's like, so-and-so is a piece of shit. Like, they're a piece of human trash, and they're the most terrible person, and nothing bad happens to them.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know these people.
They keep succeeding, and I'm like, we haven't done fucking 1% of the things this person has done, and they're fine. So it's like this weird notion that it's all gonna go away because we're hated all of a sudden. Yeah. It's like, well, this person's not hated, and this person's not hated. We're probably okay.
How do you minimize letting the hate? Because there will be, just inherently, because
there will be,
because you're dealing with opinions, right? And then people get stronger opinions, and then and then we're very loose as a culture. I think our society is throwing around the term hate. I mean, like, I hate that. Do you really hate that? Yeah. But like, how do you minimize it? Tom and I and Sam were talking about this actually before we even cracked the mics today. How do you minimize if something is said that gets under your skin that shakes your confidence about the future, which is what we were kind of talking about this morning?
That happens. Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
I tried. I mean, in moments, it definitely like can hurt or whatever. You're like, oh, that stung, that stung or whatever. It's like natural like human emotion. I remember when I started. Specifically with podcasting, I did look at like other people's, like on Apple, it's easy to read the comment feeds of people who I thought were good and very successful, huge podcasts. And no matter who it was, there was, even if it was a small ratio, at least like 1 out of 20 of people leaving the worst comments of like, this person's a fucking, I hope they die. Like it's horrible. Like, I can't stand the way they talk. I hate everything about them.
There it is, yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't really look into that troll culture before that hard. And then I just started going to like person after person.
They prefer trollshire.
Trollshire.
It's hard to say. It's like Chaucer. It's
Chaucer.
Like, Chaucer. Chaucer.
But like that, I always kind of think back to that. And I mean, honestly, just being a dude, it is easier. The fucking misogyny is so real on podcasts. Holy shit.
Everyone wants me to die on this podcast.
Well, no, like anything
crazy.
Anything Sam says, even if it's good, a lot of opening lines are, love your tits. Anyway,
that's the only positive, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I don't know.
Lindsay's had to deal with that, so it's like I have to talk to her about like I'll show her other people's.
She's so sweet.
I'm like, look at My Favorite Murder, these hugely successful podcasts,
great podcast.
And if you look at My Favorite Murder, it's like probably 1 in 5, 1 in 6 of basically like I want these bitches to die. Yeah, like people just fucking hate. I'm like that.
I do not get it.
What is there are dudes out there.
Women hate. I do not. I want to be kept by women. I want women to take care of me and make more money than me. And
is that trauma or damage or something? Because there are men out there that like despise women. Because they're women, I'm like, what is it? Why? Why is it weird?
There are a lot of incels. It's like people who, that just weird dude mentality. And there's so many people who are unrealistic about where they are in the world. I remember, I've probably said this on other podcasts, but there was a couple buddies of mine in college. They were having romantic problems. They were always couldn't get the girl they wanted, and these guys were both pretty overweight and bad hygiene, and they were chasing girls who were not overweight and had good hygiene. And I just had a very honest talk with them where I'm like, hey guys, think about who you're chasing and think about what you look like and how you're taking care of yourself. And one of these guys did start working out. I'm sure not just in that one conversation, but he did. He cleaned up. This guy, he wasn't washing his hair. He was fucking dirty. He was a gross, dirty dude. And it's like, but like a lot of guys won't. He both of them actually eventually cleaned their shit up and got their equivalent, which is I think any of us can hope for.
Right.
There's a lot of people who won't do that, though. I think there's a lot of women hate from dudes. It's like, okay, you make no effort to be a fucking nice person, to have a decent personality, on and on and on, and you want these girls you see on Instagram, whatever, and they don't want anything to do with you because you've allowed yourself to be a fucking weird creep. And rather than take personal responsibility for the fact that you're a fucking dirty creep, you instead, it's easier just to be like, well, fuck these bitches. Yeah. And just to hate.
I'm going to send all these guys hate to Dan Cummins to fight for me. Because you're a fucking piece of shit, gross human being. That's
weird. There are a lot of people who allow themselves to be fucking losers just with their mentality, and they just take it out in the world. It's like very few people I've found in life will take responsibility for their own. Like we had a parenting thing a while back with Kyler. He was upset about some stuff, and my initial reaction was to be like, well, you don't know anything, you're a kid. But I let it sink in, and it was hard to get like some negative feedback about, but then we made changes, and our relationship has been so much better after this little blip. But I found like like a lot of people, my friends' parents wouldn't have done that.
Hell no.
It'd have been like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm the parent.
I didn't want to laugh in your face when you said that. Of course not. Are you crazy?
But we try not to be the people we get frustrated by, and just when you start to notice that, it's unfortunate that a lot of people just won't deal with their own shit.
Yeah, they won't self-reflect.
Nope, they won't
all.
self-reflect. It's much easier to just leave shitty comments on other people's things and just be a dick of a person, because then it's all external. You don't ever have to deal with your own stuff if you just hate on everybody. It's always everybody else's problem.
Yeah. That's a horrible personality trait to have, which I'm going to teach my sons. Like, just look at yourself first. And
my daughter already does it.
Every single
I can't help her.
Bad thing that happens to you, like, look at yourself and what you're doing first. Don't blame other people. So Dan,
sorry, and I just to throw so I don't sound arrogant. I also did that with myself at work too. It's like I would find myself getting frustrated with everybody working for me, and they're not bad people, but eventually I had that. Talk. I'm like, it's you, dude. I'm like, it's not every single other person. I
gotta work on me. Damn it.
You are unreasonable in your expectations, and you're a shitty communicator, and you have a temper. And so, I have made, and now that I'm aware of that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how people see me. I've had to work on calming down and talking to people just nicer. And, and I'm like, I think about this actually. Just sorry, and I'm not.
But it's good though.
Yeah. But one time it was years ago at the gym at YMCA in Santa Monica. There was this group of kids that were always teens. I say kids. They're probably 18, 19, 20. Always working out when I was there, and I don't know, something rubbed me the wrong way about them when I first saw them, and I just didn't like. And I thought they were pompous dicks. And this probably went on for a year and a half, a long time, where I'm mean mugging these kids.
Oh, shit.
For a long time.
A year and a half.
A long time.
I didn't expect that time reveal.
I
this
didn't
is
either.
great.
It was a long
I thought
time.
It was a month and a half.
Yeah, man, I'm in. This is compelling. I'm in.
It was a long time.
He had this silent feud with these teens.
That was crazy. I'm crazy.
For the whole length of the pandemic.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And this is 10 years ago. This
I'm just putting it in time.
Yeah. For the
I was like, my God, that's a long time.
Finally, one day, he just said something super nice to me. He was like, "Oh man, something I don't know, whatever I was doing."
Look great, bro.
Man, you got a great looking cock.
and then he smiled, and then I relaxed and had a conversation with him, and then he was super nice, as were all of his friends, and I realized, no, you're the asshole. I have a dick face. I have an asshole face.
I've never heard of dick face.
I have a hard resting dick face.
Okay.
And that's the image I gave to them, and they responded to that. And then I'm seeing their response as actually them being the aggressor, which was not true.
Yeah,
and I made up this whole thing in my head. But it's and then since then, it's I try to smile more. And I try to just not look like a fucking dickhead.
It's hard to do. It's hard to be cognizant of your.
I try not to look like a dickhead.
But Lindsay was and she's very honest. She's like, yeah, you look like an asshole. Just your natural way you look. If you don't smile, you just look like an asshole.
Yeah, with the beard and
coming from the lady that loves you.
I know.
I love that.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
So, Dan, last question for you, because I feel like you get influenced by...
snag your tickets. Just another reminder, if you're in the chat room right now, I mean, they're trickling away.
Yeah, go see Dan at the Improv. He's going to be at the Orlando Improv, theorlandoimprov.com for tickets.
I love that room.
But if you talk to lawyers, they are constantly worried. They're like, oh, everybody's going to sue you, because that's all they deal with, right?
Yeah, that's
and then every other category is you get consumed with your work, and then it starts affecting your outlook on life.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, from years of doing content on serial killers and murderers and weird conspiracy
we
theories.
have flagged this from day one. Well, not day one, but after we saw and would ingest what you were laying down there, because my wife worked for Wesh here in town, a news station, and she covered a lot of horrible stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to have an effect.
So do you at all get you're out camping with the family and you're fucking, we can get killed by a serial killer?
Yeah, because you've got all the Slender Man knowledge in your brain. You've got it all.
And
that's not even a scary one, because it's not real. You know the real ones where people are eating people's uteruses and wearing them as hats.
So
oh my God. Yeah.
That, and are there any conspiracy theories that you're I could see that kind of you start.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, luckily, I'm a big fan of numbers, analytics. So it's like, yes, we talk about these horrible serial killers, but I'm aware that I'm not the prime demographic for almost any of them. And then also, like, the numbers society-wide are pretty small. I get more worried about where my head gets, maybe as a parent, and then just dealing with too many dirtbags who mess with kids. Those numbers are terrifying. Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, why can't more people just keep away from fucking kids? Like, just stop touching kids. So then that makes me paranoid. Like, I am more, it's probably soaked in where when my kids were younger, I'm sure they're going to talk to me about it when they're older. I think I checked in with them way too much about, like, so no one's being weird around you. I was always fishing. New teacher. I'm like, so, but he's not touching you, right? It would go real quick to, like, no one's touching you, right?
What's your problem, Dad?
And I'm sure, like, very quick also to be like, because if they are, you don't have to talk to the police. I'm like, I'll fucking go to your school tomorrow. I'll fucking walk in there. I'll fucking put that guy in the hospital. Like just real crazy where I've had to, like, work on not letting what I'm working on make me think that, like, they're just everywhere. So that's something I do have to work on because it does get in your head. When you're working like these pieces of shit over and over, you're like, Jesus Christ, it's everywhere.
There's a lot of pedophiles, more than serial killers. It's like the pedophilia thing is like
terrifying,
and then or just
but there's more serial killers. I feel like than you know either, right?
There's quite a few.
But it's got to feel. Like sexual predators.
Be real. It's got to feel. I'm not saying good. I would never label it good.
Sure.
But it does. It's got to feel a little like
sense of accomplishment.
You're a little pumped up if you're walking around and you've got like 70, 80 people you've killed and no one knows. And
everybody wants to be good at their job.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to have a skill. It's like, it's bad, but sure, is there pride? Yeah. You're Dexter.
Flag that box. Flag
it. No, and then the conspiracy thing. I have to work on, like, not thinking that everybody is conspiratorial, maybe, when you come across these. But I am open to some conspiracies being real. It's like, because I do try to take an open mind, and I will say, like, I make fun of, right now I talk about it in the stand-up, but I do make fun of some of the conspiracies that have come out around COVID, while also tipping my hat to the conspiracy crowd where I'm like, yeah, but of course you're going to be concerned about Big Pharma. Hello, opioid crisis.
Yeah.
It's like you have this, this huge, where all this money is going to be made, billions of dollars in profits are made on these vaccines, and we're supposed to, like, just implicitly trust all the people when that people from that same group were like, pain management just not that long ago, they're like, oh, you can trust us. We have all these doctors saying this is totally fine. And they convinced all these doctors, and it was fucking horrible, and they knew that the whole time. So then people think the same thing about, like, a vaccine, it's like, I do have to respect, like, I understand where your concern is.
Why wouldn't you apply your logic to that? Sure. That kind of math, I can see it.
And I think the CIA killed JFK.
And then there's, like, I'll tell you, like, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but things like, I remember a time where, like, hey, your phone, Alexa, they're all listening to you, and they're recording what you say, and I'm like, no, they're, like, there was a time where, no, they're not, until we saw the goddamn proof, and then we know that they are, and then you're like, oh, yeah, they are listening to what I say, and they're running ads about what I said.
They were listening to us with the Patriot Act a long time ago.
Would anything happen?
And then you're like, oh, it's true.
Okay, if every afternoon I, like, come home from the show, and I walk into the house, Andrea's downstairs, home office, doing her thing, and I just kind of walk by my Alexa, and I'm like, I think she knows that I'm going to kill her today. If I do that repetitively for one full year, nothing will become of it, right?
Well, they just
start getting gun ads. And
I was gonna say,
but like if I'm like,
here's some rope.
If every time I walk,
but Home Depot's having a rope sale.
What would happen if I did that and I'm like, now's not the time. It's just not the time. But I was still planning on killing my wife. Like, because that's what you're fearful. My point is, you're fearful that the government, the man in the sky, Joe Alexa is downloading all of you, and he knows everything that you're going to do. My point is, I'm like you've always said this. I don't really. I'm boring. I have nothing to hide. If I continue to say that, I just kind of feel like I'm so boring and not important that even the government would be like, "Yeah, we got this guy. He's been saying he's going to kill his wife for an entire year." Like, I don't. Is it used like that? Is that how it's used? How do they even find that out? How do they flag it?
It's for everything's for money. Follow the money. It's just
correct.
They want to advertise to you. They don't give two shits about solving crimes. They just want to market to you because. And the same thing with like pharmaceutical pharmaceutical companies and stuff.
Right.
It really is like when it comes to all they care about is money. That's true.
Yep,
That's all it is.
And those are the conspiracies that always have legs to me, where it's like, when people start going off about, there's so many satanic conspiracies. That is just, I'm not a religious person. I'm just like, what do you do? No. There's not some weird group of people in robes chanting because they want to drink adrenochrome so they can live forever. That stuff, I'm like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But if there's money, that is the one that always resonates. I'm like, because it is true, that cliche of money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
If there's enough profit incentive, then people are going to do it.
Sure.
And it's like, that's how you get the equivalent of the Illuminati. There's not some fucking group of dudes meeting in a cave, with their hoods and stuff, and talking and doing satanic rituals so they get to keep controlling the world. They're just people who figured out ways to make a fuckload of money, and then they just want to keep making that money. And if people die, so they can keep making that money, it's like, well, then so be it. And I'm sure they rationalize it, and it's like, well, that's just what happens.
We're just the weirdos that get hung up on the robe, the jiggy-jaggy dagger,
Well, that's the fun part
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. I wish that was true.
Really, it's just
that'd be exciting.
Old guys in a boardroom
making money,
looking at graphs of how much money
taking advantage of tax loopholes, and
there have been actual cases of quote unquote satanic, people who. In their mind, at least, are worshiping a Christian devil and going to appease them with sacrifices. If you look into it, it's almost always a small group of people, they're fucking doing a crazy amount of meth, and they're
we have
all
a lot
living
of
in the
them
same
here in Florida,
and they're all living in the same trailer, and they have pentagram tattoos, and they kill two people, and it's as opposed to Warren Buffett. It's like those guys don't give a fuck about that stuff.
No.
They don't need to. They know how to manipulate the stock market. They know how to push things that don't require any of that.
Sure.
They're out on a yacht somewhere laughing at people thinking that you need some satanic influence to do that. Well, there's
the dollar influence.
Although I'm sure you've done a show about it, but what's that place? The Bohemian Grove.
I was mentioning that.
That shit is real.
That's like a social club, right?
Yeah, but it's a club, and they don't do anything crazy.
That might
or
as
weird,
well be the Spearmint Rhino.
It's networking. All those fraternal order things.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, if you're in the top 1% of the top 1% of income earners, and you have all this influence, and you can partner. If you're a real estate mogul, and you can partner up with an oil mogul, and you can partner up with a tech person to create even more fucking money. It's like that's what Bohemian Grove and those places are. It's the people. It's the industry leaders getting together to figure out how to. They wouldn't get to that place unless they cared a lot about their job, and they were very ambitious, and they wanted to take things further and further. The Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, well, yeah, of course, they're smart. They're fucking smart. They're industrious, and they know that there's power in networking, and that's all that stuff is.
100%.
It's like, you meet, and it's like, nefarious things do happen because of that.
Not all people are good.
Yeah, some third world country, their workers are going to get motherfucked again. So this person over here can make 2% more profit. Wall Street is, and I'm someone who invests, but I invest knowing that Wall Street is more evil than all of these supposed little fucking cults and things, of the not even real.
Yeah.
We have a listener, and I'll leave you with this because I don't want to take up all of his time, but we have a listener that played piano for a meeting at Bohemian Grove. I can't tell you who it is. But we have a listener. I can't tell you who it is. But remember, we did an interview with him.
Yeah. And
I'd love to go to Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, he got to go there. And
but you got to sign NDAs and a bunch of stuff. If
show me the demon's dick I have to suck, and I'll put it in my fucking mouth.
And he was a jazz. He's doing the thing and playing with a band at the thing, and he was like, it was crazy. He was like anybody and everybody of influence. You had chancellors and presidents and
Baphomet, take me to Bohemian Grove.
Well, Dan, thanks so much for stopping by, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
And
we love you, buddy.
Again, and thanks for getting me started on this path again. I say it all the time, but it's like, you guys are the best.
Dude, we knew that you, shit.
We knew it all along. We knew it all along. I thought that's what you were going to say.
When we talked to the Illuminati correspondents, they told us it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so we're always excited for your success, and we hope to do more things with you in the future.
Yeah, I want to do more things with you guys. Yeah, all you guys. Samantha, you know what, Chrissy, you're here, so you're invited.
Everybody. Seth's in the lobby. He kept his goatee. My God.
Oh,
So
God.
go see Dan at the Orlando Improv. I'm telling you, get your tickets while they last because BDMs are going to sell it out.
Yeah,
for sure.
link is in the Twitch chat room,
that's nice, you
twitch.tv
guys.
/Tom and Dan live. We'll take a quick break. All right, music-wise. What do I got here today? The name of the band is Sweat. The name of the song is Hit and Run. That's what we're going to do right now. It's hard, so enjoy this, and we'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time.
Streamline Mortgage Solutions. Brian Zymel and his team have helped hundreds of BDMs.
Have we reached 1,000 yet? I want to say we're close.
Close. It's
Yeah,
got to be close.
Pretty damn close.
Because either if you're buying a house or if you're refinancing, I know I refinanced with Streamline. So did Daniel.
3 times.
And so did tons of BDMs. It's simple math. There's equity in your house. If you're looking to pay off some credit cards, or maybe you got a loan with a high interest rate or whatever, refinance. Take the equity out of your house. Take the cash. Pay those high interest credit cards off, high interest loans. Maybe you want to redo your kitchen. Maybe you want to put in a pool, do some housework.
Hey, this all sounds great to me, buddy.
Yeah, and then take the money out of your house, and they can help you with a cash out refi. Like I said, all it takes is a simple call.
Yeah,
if you call them and find out, then you'll find out what the interest rate's going to be and if it's worth it or not.
Yeah, and getting the money, reinvesting in your home, that's not even the best part. The best part is that Brian and his team are so darn good at what they do. They handle everything. They're just going to let you know if it works, if it doesn't work, but it will be the easiest thing you've ever done because they're so good at it.
Yeah, it can all be done over the phone.
No headaches is what I mean. It's just easy.
Also, if you do a cash out refi, for the most part, in most cases, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 2 months after you refinance and get a new mortgage and take the money out and pay off those things that you need to pay off.
I like to pretend that that's free money. Not true, but I pretend it.
Also, if you're looking to buy a house, the market is crazy. It's hard to buy a house. You're getting beat by cash offers. Work with a lender like Streamline.
Well, get pre-approved and get that, get all your ducks in a row.
And they can help you along the way so you have the best opportunity to buy that house. Because if you're competing against cash offers, you need a company like Streamline, especially if they know you're a Tom and Dan listener or BDM. They will go above and beyond to help you as much as they can with purchasing that home.
But you definitely got to let them know. StreamlineFlorida.com is the website. You've got Brian's number on there. On our website, TomandDan.com, click the Streamline link. It goes to Brian's cell phone number. You can call him directly.
Yep, it's StreamlineFlorida.com.
That is the Warhawks with This Ain't Art. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
Tom.
Samantha, I believe, is in the restroom. And Seth is here. What's up, buddy?
Hi.
How you doing? What's wrong? Why are you sad?
Wow. No, I'm fine.
Dan, I think he turned up his
Hey,
headphones.
is he okay? Is he here okay?
Man, I don't even think he wore them.
I mean, he does 5 million podcasts. So he
Yeah.
has
Oh, yeah, he
headphones
didn't
on
even
all the
wear 'em.
time.
Yeah, I don't think he wore them.
He did not wear them.
They're probably just cranked up. For,
Oh,
how
the
you
last
doing,
guy, our last guest, COVID Joe wore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He died.
forgot
He
about that.
passed away. So he got the quick COVID.
Yeah. So Seth, I saw you, a listener, I think it was a BDM, posted a picture of you walking down the street dressed like a ninja with your.
Oh, it's a
goatee.
ninja. It's a traditional Japanese karate dogi.
Now,
A doggy. Get along, little doggy.
you had the
No,
slippers.
it's actually it's the hakama. I wore the hakama that day. I'm sorry. Hakama.
Hakama.
That's what I wear when I do the sword class. That's the traditional.
Oh, that's
You had a
right.
sword.
I had a real live badass.
I don't think you're
legit
supposed to be
sword.
walking through the streets of Orlando with a sword.
Oh,
without
I
a
did,
permit.
and then I ran down Colonial. Obviously, saw my post after that. I posted all over Instagram. Me and my buddy, my giant 7-foot tall, 300-pound, long blonde-haired guy with another sword, running down Colonial with the swords out, like screaming, filming. Stuff.
Why?
Not for social media.
Okay, so you're running down the
For the
street with
clicks.
a
Doing
sword.
it for the clicks.
Hey, by the way, this is only things white people could do because nobody
True
else
story.
would be killed instantly.
Yeah.
They were having they knew it was the Asian Fest parade, so it was fine.
I don't think is it called Asian Fest? Or is that
The Chinese New Year. They have Asian Fest. No, that's a thing. Asian
Also,
Fest
I
is a
think the
thing.
last black guy that did have a samurai sword got shot or something. Like that's another thing. I think Tom's
Yeah.
like, I think that is
I'll tell
rooted
you.
in fact.
don't think so.
So we heard that you bought a new truck, and we talked to you.
Not just a
about,
truck. Anybody can go out and buy a truck. You go out there and buy like a 2006 a Ford F-150 hunk of shit.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. He didn't buy that. He bought a 2020 Ford Raptor.
Yeah.
Which is like a mega truck.
No, it's not that. It's nice though. I like it.
It's like a factory custom. It's an expensive. It's like a $90,000 truck, right?
No, I mean 80 something.
80, 90. Who's counting?
So
Tom likes to get you in here and really put the screws on your finances.
How's it been? Has it been good?
You do have the beard of a dickhead who spends too much money. You do. You're I'll buy what I want. I'm goddamn dickhead.
I was going to do this for the. I was going to do this for the night.
I'm a dollar dickhead.
I decided just to keep it out.
Now, what does your beautiful girlfriend Tracy have to say about your Paul Senior documentary, The Younger Years?
She doesn't mind. I don't know. She goes back and forth when people ask her. She's like, "Oh my god!" But then when she's with me, she's like, "I don't mind it. I don't mind it." So I think she's.
I like that. She's like mixed signals. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're
really
alone, she's like, "I like it. I like it." When you get out, she's like, "He looks like shit."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I do feel like there's some sort of transition happening where it's like all this money spending and the goatee.
What?
And,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of this in like a.
You're pretty close to having a Nextel on the outside. You got like a construction facility,
Yeah.
right, with the truck.
Yeah.
Well, once this gets longer, it won't look like that.
You want to appropriate? Okay, I got it. All right.
The center too. So
you want a long white Fu Manchu?
Yeah, that's not correct. That's not PC anymore. You can't say Fu Manchu anymore.
You can't say Fu Man. What's that particular?
I don't have to think of a new name because you're not.
How
allowed
about
to
a
say
Fu Man dude?
Oh, why aren't you allowed to say it?
I don't know. My Japanese friend said that it's not correct to say that. So I was like, okay.
Well, hey.
And then I got mad at him because he's not Chinese. He's Japanese. So I'm like, you can't tell me.
Dirty days. Look at these.
You're like, what do you know? It's different countries.
Yeah. But I don't know.
So look that up, Sam, because I'm all about learning. If you're not allowed to say that anymore, like long time no see. You shouldn't say that anymore.
Wait, what?
That's making fun of Asian broken English when they use it in Breakfast at Tiffany's. The whole character that I think it's Mickey Rooney does is very much a negative Asian stereotype. So when you say to somebody, long time no see, you're saying, it's been a long time since I've seen you, and you're mocking Asian people that they're broken English. They would be, long time no see. Like, that's why you shouldn't say it. So
If you say it like that, then
but my point is when people ask,
pull your eyes back, so it's okay.
My point is when people ask, that's why, right?
Yeah.
So this has to have an origin story of why we called it. There's
literally a phrase in Japanese that means long time no see. Hey sashiburi. That means long time no see.
Hey sushi booty.
Hey sushi
No,
booty.
now you guys are just making fun of the language. That's cool.
But I like say hey sashi booty.
From what I have found, it is because the movie Dr. Fu Manchu was basically like doing yellow face, like it was like a white dude,
like Mickey Rooney was doing in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Referencing it at all is supposed to be racist.
So, Seth,
Chinese mustache.
Have you tried?
I like that. Yeah, Chinese mustache.
VR porn, because we're going to set it up for you after this next
No, but
break.
I keep seeing some really good ads for it as I'm on Pornhub, and
Sir,
I'm like,
I am going to set you up. I got we have our VR unit here, ready to go. And in the next break, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up. I'm going to set it up for you to go one-on-one with Riley Reid. You're going to get the squirt right in the face. Nice. We're going to set it all up, buddy. I'm going to introduce you.
Wait, I don't want you standing in front of me with a squirt gun.
No,
I wouldn't do that to the VR.
See how real it is?
We're using actually PP.
I was going to actually use diarrhea.
I would expect nothing less.
But no, I think I made Tom a believer. And the one that I downloaded yesterday, I was able to get my hands on it, my home unit, on an 8K.
8K? Woo! That's a thing?
I will say that it's a little too close. If VR porn directors are out there listening, if anybody that dabbles in this, when you put the butthole,
come on,
you want a solid. Come on, I mean for my depth of field, I need like 5 inches off my nose. When you get it too close, then I cross my eyes looking. It needs to. Yeah. But the fact that there is depth is fucking amazing,
really?
Dude. I mean, it looks like, you can't touch it yet, but I'm telling you, does it not look like a real butt? It's
a different. Just stand in front of me and shave your butt, and I won't care the difference. I'll see it. And
stand in front of me and shave your butt.
Stand in front of me, shave your butt, and bend over, and I'll just pretend it's real, and it'll be the same thing to me. I wouldn't.
He wants to grope you.
We'll show.
No, Tom.
I'll show. Tom's got a flat frog butt. Mine is more round. I have the roundest butt, I think.
I do have a little bit of a frog
It's
ass.
a frog ass. Mine's a little
Seth
round.
does too, though.
I don't have a frog ass. I have a
Because
bubble
of my M-word tendencies, I have... Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because of my M-word tendencies, I have a bit of a
badonk.
I have a bit of a little people, big world butt.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Let's do some news. Seth, are you ready?
Right. Did he even pull news?
I don't know.
I every day I'm on the internet. I just find news and I
All
put it
right.
on my
Well,
little.
let's put it to the test.
Attack, but the Russian won't call him back, and we all forgot about that fight. Just more proof alone you're gonna die. It's Seth Petruzelli with your douche bro
News today brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go, just call Mo. The DeWitt Law Firm will help you out. All right, Seth,
Mo
what's
needs
the
to call
first
my brother
one?
back. My brother actually called Mo.
Oh, really?
He was going through some stuff.
Injured on the go?
No, more like
Heart injured on the go.
Crazy ex-wife.
No.
Baker acted on the go. I don't know if I'm allowed to say
I
that.
don't know. You're
not allowed to say that.
Sorry.
It sounds like a better act than it is.
I always go to cookies. Do you go cookies?
Oh, and you got Baker acting?
I'm like, yummy.
It sounds better than it is.
Fabulous Baker Boys. Like a good movie.
Like,
Baking, Baker's Chocolate.
I wanted a cake at
Josephine Baker, Forbidden Banana Dance. There's a lot of good Baker stuff.
I'm in a weird area of the hospital I've never seen.
Why is everything's very soft here?
What do we got?
All right, I'm starting off with a good one. A 53-year-old took himself to the emergency room with abdominal pain that has been building for 3 days. He had swelling, nausea. More alarmingly, he was experiencing pain in his right leg, and he was unable to move it for the past 24 hours, so his leg was paralyzed. There was nothing wrong with the leg that the doctors could see, but after some MRIs and a rectal examination, it revealed that the man had impacted stools. Sorry, I didn't even mean to laugh at that.
You're
44-year-old.
You ever watch a special needs kid see a butterfly? Like crazy. Why would you do that?
Wait, shut up. A scan of his abdomen.
This guy's rich.
A scan of his abdomen revealed that he was suffering from massive fecal compaction and potentially life-threatening abdominal compartment syndrome. Increased pressure on the abdomen and his heart from shit.
I was compacted one time, and I had to go to the doctor. I got an impaction one time. I've never told this story. Maybe I have. I got an impaction one time. I was dating the girl who eventually killed herself. She, I don't know. I had to say that. And I went to Halifax Hospital, and they pulled out the wand. They're like, "Sir, we believe you have an impaction. We've done some X-rays, and there's a lot of doo-doo in there." So they brought out this wand that was hooked to like a water thing, and the wand looks like a very skinny, like maybe a foot and 3 inches. Yeah, almost like a wand a woman would pleasure herself with. But it was flesh colored, and they stuck it in there, and it had holes all in it. Like it was like where water could come out. And then they put it in my butt, and then they filled me up full of water, and I had to hold it for a certain amount of time, and then I go sit in the toilet, and all the doo-doo came out, and they're like, "You're good," and that was it.
Just take some laxative.
How much you think
It
that
wasn't
was?
working. It wasn't working.
I like these stories because it's the exact opposite of Seth and Daniel, and the fact that and you'll hear these where woman has 84-pound tumor that's been growing for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then, like, this guy, his legs stopped working. Like, obviously, he knew he hasn't doo-dooed in days, right? Like, so, and never thought to go to the hospital. He had to wait until his legs stopped working, and then he had extreme pain.
I
and
didn't
finally
know that
went.
doo-doo could stop your legs from working.
And he was going into renal failure because
die.
it was doing something on his kidneys, metabolic acidosis, I guess. So he was like literally ready to die from it. It's crazy.
It's
Biggie Smalls.
like, how do you not
what's
realize you
cheerleaders?
haven't doo-dooed in such a, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, something's
How regular are you? I'm regular Danny. Like, when I wake up, it's like, ding, time to doo-doo. I go there, it all falls out, on with my day. End of the day, or you guys see it here. I get up, I'm like, we're done recording? I'm like, yep.
Yeah. I feel like that ties into being in tune to your body, right? Like,
Well,
Seth probably monitors
You're
his
regular,
doo-doo.
right? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
every day.
Like, what time?
Every morning, for sure.
What, like 6 a.m.? Or you're up early, right?
No, I'm up at like 9:30 a.m.
Oh, my God, you're
9:30.
so
I don't go to
lazy.
bed. I don't go to bed till like 2
Oh,
a.m.
okay,
like
night
1:30,
owl.
2 o'clock. So yeah, I don't get home from the dojo until like 10-ish. Eat, watch about an hour TV, fall asleep around 1:30.
Gotcha.
When does the old man clock kick in?
It's been kicking in because my sleep has been horrible lately. Like I can't stay
The
asleep.
mustache.
Something like that.
Well,
That's
because
that's when it started.
usually as you get older, right, you start waking up earlier. That's the thing, right?
My wife has been battling that. She gets up at 6. Her alarm goes off at 6:30, but she gets really mad. She's like, naturally, I'm just waking up at 6. And I'm like, well, that's your body telling you you're awake. You're good.
Yeah.
But she values her sleep to a point of like almost to the point of like it'll be a fight. Like, God forbid any of you ever, like, on this camping trip, like, if you were to make a very loud noise that woke Andrea up in the tent, like, if you camped next to us and you got up early and you're banging pots and pans, she would be so fucking mad at you. Like, and people don't know this about Andrea, but some of the biggest fights her and I've ever gotten into have to do with her sleep and the amount of like don't mess with it she puts around
Dude, this week is gonna be horrible because my buddy Turkey Leg
I know.
sleep apnea
I know.
snore, you can literally hear him
Expect my wife to be mad.
and then like,
Expect Andrea to be mad.
we were like, you could hear him die multiple times.
You have her
throughout the
number,
night.
right? You could even call her and talk to her about it. It's ridiculously weird how angry she gets. Like, if you, like, there have been times where I've moved her pillow just because I thought it was my pillow or something like that in the bed. She's like, why are you doing that? What the fuck? You know, like, mad. And then we'll hold that grudge all day. You ruined my sleep. You got me up early. I got up 10 minutes early. What are you doing?
These next 2 days are
man.
going to be the worst sleep you've ever had because the mix.
I'm pretty positive about it. I'm like, it'll be fine.
No, it'll be fine, but it's just going to be. It'd be sleeping in the tent. No matter what, it's your goddamn air mattress starts.
I'm glad
deflating.
she's in the
Yeah,
chat
it always
room.
deflates.
She says, I'm bringing earplugs because of turkey leg and a sleep mask. But straight up, you are, my wife in the chat room, you are very mean about your sleep. You're a mean woman when it comes to your sleep. And I don't think people know that sometimes she even has to go and apologize to me like, hey, I'm sorry. I was like, I was a jerk.
I don't get very good sleep either, and I've always
It's been
battled
work.
it.
The past year has been the absolute worst sleep I've ever gotten. I actually just had a sleep study done last week. I had to sit with all the wires on my face. And
You've had those before, right?
No, that was the first one. I had the take-home one, and it never
Not as
showed
good.
anything. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Do you think you need a CPAP? Why are you doing it?
No, just because I keep waking up. Sometimes, like, occasionally I'll go and, like, wake myself up. It's like the choke type thing. But that's only happened, like, maybe, like, 4 or 5 times. But most of the time...
Was Tracy on top of you choking you? Like,
No.
That's an apnea. You start choking.
I know,
away.
I
you
know.
probably
And I
got
told her
it.
that, but she's like, well, sometimes it happens to some
You
people.
can't
but it
fight
doesn't.
that either. Like, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, no,
if you
I know.
you
It's out of my
die.
control.
You'll just die.
Shut up, I know.
And,
It's coming for you.
It doesn't...
and you know,
In fact, that mustache might be blocking your airways a little bit. You might want to shave that off to get maximum
more
oxygen in
flow.
there.
young girls love sleeping next to a guy with a full mask on and a pump and shit and strapped to your head.
How many guys have ever made love to their wife while the CPAP's on?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and it's disgusting.
it is. It's vile.
They're blobbing.
blowjob.
Right, you're
Blowjob
just
would be
blobbing them, and there's all kinds of boogers in that thing.
Next
So anyway, the guy removed over a half gallon, so it was like 2 liters or over a half gallon of poop they took out from him. So
My God.
it's disgusting. So, all right, next story. So Daniel Christensen, he's a 14-year-old from Denmark. He was given homework about World War II, and crazily, he ended up finding a German fighter plane with the pilot's skeleton still inside the cockpit on his grandfather's farm.
Well, he gets an A+.
You figured,
You found a Nazi. Great job.
Like, the reason I picked this story is because I'm really into World War II lately. I'm watching all sorts of documentaries, getting into it and stuff like that.
Another old man. Write that down. Write that down.
Oh, Tracy loves it.
No, she's into it too. I promise.
She loves it. Yeah.
She goes, I'm like,
in between TikTok trends, she's over there soaking up Hitler's secret army.
Hitler's secret bunker. my boyfriend makes me watch as he sleeps.
My boyfriend puts a CPAP on. We watch Hitler's secret experiments on History Channel.
Whatever. Then she's lying to me with everything. But anyway, I'm really into that. So I thought that by now everything has been discovered. Like, I mean, there's like, millions of planes and everything like that went down, but like, you figured everything was solved and found.
Yeah, eventually you run across some tank, and there's like, oh shit, a tank in the woods.
Yeah, but I figured all was but a skeleton and everything like that. It's just
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So what, is it just in the woods and like a portion of the woods no one walked through?
He said his grandfather used to tell him about a German Luftwaffe plane that went down in his family farm, but everyone just brushed it off like, yeah, it's grandfather's crazy story.
No one bothered to take a walk and look.
Poor old man. All you gotta do is go out there and smoke a left-handed cigarette. Like, let's walk out to the barn.
They said they thought it was tall tales from the war.
But 50 years.
By the way, grandfathers do tell you a lot of tall tales from the war, though, and most of them are lies. I found that out.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are. That's true. That's true. Not a good track record, these grandpas.
They had to do a lot of digging with their farming equipment. They dug around a whole area and stuff like that.
Oh, so it was buried.
It was buried. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it more.
With a metal detector.
I thought it was the old.
Do you have any stories from this year?
I just Well, I just saw that, and I just saw it was from. Why is it from?
2017, and the one before that was 2018.
I didn't realize when I looked at these.
2017.
It's old as old. It's very
not
old.
News.
No,
5 years
when
ago.
I go to IFL
story
news from 5 years ago.
When I do IFLscience.com, when I look at their stuff, they repopulate they just kick their old stories back up top, and I don't realize that they do that, and I don't look.
If you're explaining, you're losing. I heard that one.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's their fault. They
I was enjoying the story.
I don't know why they recycle stories. Like
I was willing to go with it
because they just come. I mean, that's how everything is on the internet, right? It's just like it doesn't even matter if it's true, relevant.
Shit, this one's from 1 year ago.
I'm
looking at the dates. I never bother to look at the dates. I just read and they seem interesting.
Yeah, old stories with Seth. That's fine.
This one's cool though.
Old stories from an old man.
I mean, the fact that the theme is old is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Puts his white painter hat on and goes to work.
You look like an Italian painter.
You do. Italians do like white hats, right? I don't know why.
They're making pizza or painting. It's all the same outfit.
You're racially stereotyping.
You like it.
That's fine. Next old story. 3 boys in Bolivia. They learned the hard way. I'm sure they're fine now. It's been a year or two.
You know what? I like that. Good job. You wove it in there. That was good. Yeah.
That with great powers comes fevers, tremors, and muscle pains. They tried to inherit the powers of Spider-Man by letting a black widow spider bite all 3 of them. The boys, they are only 8, 10, and 12. Fortunately, didn't succumb to the unfortunate incident, and they were released from the hospital a week later, a year and a half ago, like I said, and without any superpowers.
I will say, though, it's super stupid to let a spider bite you, but braver than I think my sons would. Like, I don't think they'd ever be willing to let a goddamn spider bite them, even if they thought it was going to give them superpowers. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing I have ever let bite me so I could feel it. That's a thing. That's almost you're touching on something interesting. It's almost like a rite of passage for little boys. I don't think so much for little girls. But the only animal I have ever actively put my finger out to get them to chomp it is a tiny bird. Not a tiny bird, but like a cockatoo. Not a parakeet, like the one that has the yellow and the one that has the orange cheeks. I love the bird with the orange cheeks. He's cute. And then everybody's like, he bites, it hurts. I'm like, it doesn't hurt, I'll do it. And you want to want to be in the club, you want to impress people, and then they chomp it, and you're like, it's not that bad, but it is kind of bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Dude, parrets will bite
your finger off.
Yeah. They'll, that one parrot that my mother-in-law, Bubba, bit Max's fingerprint off on, literally, it sinks,
I fucked mine up from cutting it. Like I was telling your wife about how I cut my finger and then I fixed it.
Yeah.
It's got feeling in it. My fingerprint's fucked. I don't know. Is that going to fix itself? Will the layers build back up to the top, or like?
I think it's that forever. You have the scar will be part of your
my fingerprint.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
like
a more telling tale if you do something. That'll be like, there's a scar in his right finger.
Seth, you ever
You know what I'm
been
saying?
bit by any animal?
I'm trying to think. A turtle, but not my turtle.
You've been bit by a random turtle?
Yeah. Because when I was little, we used to go hunt for tadpoles and stuff like that with my dad out in the ditches in Cape Coral. Let's
go tadpole hunting in the ditches.
That's what we did in the retention pond. We just went and caught tadpoles and brought them to our house and watched them turn into frogs and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I remember seeing like a turtle picking up. And I think it was looking back. It looked like a soft shell or a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
But it was a baby. It wasn't that.
What's
big.
the one that has the dick nose?
That's the soft shell.
Yeah,
those are gross. Like soft shell turtles, their nose has like a fucking trumpet
It's
on
like
the
an
end of it.
uncircumcised penis.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, why did they make? So has a purpose, right?
Yeah, it has
the
to.
trumpet on their nose.
Great.
What do they do
jobs.
with that?
Maybe from like going up
Snoot
and
around?
like breathing oxygen.
snoots around.
Snoot around.
Like
Yeah, you poke it into a snoot. I smell some algae.
It's for breathing, probably, right? It's like
it says they have a habit of burying themselves in the sand or mud on the bottom of a wetland, and then they just stick their snoot up to breathe.
Okay. All right. I see you. Trumpet snoot.
Little snorkel.
Yeah.
Little snorkel snoot.
All right.
Stung by a jellyfish too, but I was like 30
That
years old.
doesn't count.
And I picked it up thinking it was fine, like a Cape Coral jellyfish.
I
and
don't
It was
count
not a Cape
jellyfish.
Coral jellyfish.
It
was a stinger.
Is that a?
Did you pee on it?
Where are we at on jellyfish?
Lemons and pee.
Well, let's talk
I
about
don't
this
know
for a
what-
second, because according to my wife, and I'm almost positive to your wife, that our children, if they were swimming and there were jellyfish out there, that both of our wives would be like, no, you can't swim, there's jellyfish.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, and again, I know I'm falling in the trap even doing that.
Yeah.
But it was like, there's jellyfish. That you just swim in the jellyfish because
they live in the ocean.
Yeah, and it's going to sting you. Maybe.
Just
if
be
you
careful, yeah.
You avoid them the best you can. One got me ouch! Okay, pee on it or not, whatever. Go about your day. But then something happened where that changed, and now it's, there's jellyfish, we can't go to the beach.
Well,
so when did that happen, and why did that happen?
Because the man of war started blowing in, and those are the deadly ones.
Yeah, my mom
A
got
long
wrapped
time
up in the man of war and had to go to the hospital one time. In fact, it got her so bad that she couldn't swim. Like, it wrapped her up to the point where
man.
Big was this
No,
thing?
it wasn't like holding her legs. I mean, like, the pain was so bad, she was like it was getting her.
Oh, paralyzed. They're kind of like,
I don't know about paralyzed.
I remember
But she went to the hospital.
Yeah.
we went snorkeling in some sort of bullshit excursion in the Keys back before kids. And I've told the story in the air, but it was jellyfish season or whatever. So there was just an insane amount, 10,000, a million moon jellyfish that were just going with the tide. And then we go out there and they're like, all right, jump in. And we're looking down off the boat and it's just jellyfish everywhere. But they're so big, you can kind of avoid them. But there would be waves of them come in, whatever. And then there was that one real man that didn't give a shit and we're just swimming through them and knocking all their goddamn tentacles off. And then all the tentacles were stinging all of us. And we're like, fucking quit hitting the jellyfish, old man. And he didn't give a shit. He was just swimming through them and we're all trying to avoid them. And it
I have no feeling.
and
how do you not feel? That sucks. Oh.
and then they'll wash on the shore, and it's always debatable whether they're still going to sting your feet or not, whether they're dried out enough to be not stingable anymore or whatever.
Well, can you touch the fat part? Okay, when you see them in
the
the
blob
ocean,
on the top, you can't touch
my
the tentacles. Are
so
stinging.
when you flip them underneath, that's where it kind of looks like see-through, kind of little fingerlings.
Yeah, that's where the stinging comes.
But the top of them, you can play bongos on them, and you can grab a stick and stab it through them. They don't feel that, right?
they have a brain.
Yeah.
I think as a kid, but my mom and dad would tell me not to do that. Like, don't be stabbing them.
Yeah, my wife says that. Yeah.
So where are we at? That's why I'm asking the
You
question.
can stab them crazy.
Okay,
Jellyfish.
You can throw them, you can't stab them. We used to pick them up and just go and
I
lob
want
them
to
out
chop
of the way.
them. I
You
want
can
to chop
burn them
them in
with lighters.
half.
They have no brain. They're just a jelly
Water blob.
organism.
Yeah, a
They have
stinging
nothing-
water blob. Okay. All right.
It's fine.
My cousin got his penis infested with sea lice once at the beach. He buried himself. He blew it up like a football.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, it went in his. That's what my mom told me.
Now we got the.
I don't think sea lice will, like.
he said he was buried in sand and some got in his pee hole.
Okay, let's analyze this.
I don't know if it's true. He
Type
said yes.
in
That's she wouldn't lie
sea
to me.
lice in the pee hole. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, sea lice got Max and Tommy one time real bad.
In the pee hole?
In the butthole.
Not in the pee hole, but around their bathing suit. It's kind of like chiggers, where they're like
easy, calm.
No, but it's where like where the bathing suit touches your skin. That's where the sea lice get you too, and it's just like little dots everywhere. But it never
Weird.
I guess if you were allergic to them or something, it would swell up.
Maybe he had his penis out. I don't know. We were little kids. I remember being little kids. But she told me this.
They're forever changing at the beach, and they're running around in diapers. I would imagine his diaper or whatever got wet. It wouldn't matter. I mean, you get that sand on you, and you get them on you.
I don't know.
Does it say anything, Sam, about?
I'm not seeing anything about going in the urethra.
More of an external thing, right?
Yeah, it says they can't live outside of warm seawater.
Well, warm pee holes.
Warm salt water.
Let's take a break. When we come back,
That's what we're ending on?
I literally had a recent one from literally
you put the phone down.
One month ago.
1 month.
It's a smart one, sort of. Having two biological parents, it's so 20th century. In the not-so-distant future, developments with gene editing technology could make it possible for children to have more than two biological parents. The scientist explains how scientific developments could dramatically change the way humans procreate. Using something called a CRISPR gene editing.
I miss CRISPRs, man. Publix used to have CRISPRs around there. That was good as hell.
It would be theoretically possible to create a child with features from the genetic traits of multiple different people. This technology could also make it possible for people to have children late into their life. So, after
I think you subconsciously said Petri. Did anybody else hear that?
How is it? Are they somehow? And this is, I have no idea.
That's fine. No, none of us do. No, we're speaking on something we have no idea on.
So, the sperm single cell and the egg single cell, that's how to create life, right? And then from that, it's kind of a mix of the genes of what,
from the two,
from the two, who gets what. And now I know there's manipulation, and we already have the science to change your genes, and they cut out possible sicknesses and illnesses the person will ever.
You can choose the sex and
the
stuff
sex,
like that,
and there's things like that. So, are you adding other humans' genes to an already fertilized egg, or are you adding two? Yeah. Because if you just add two sperm to the egg,
it would just compete, and the winning sperm would
correct. Based on what we know.
Yeah, based on what we know.
So
obviously I don't know shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think I lean on what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think it is that way. I think it's set, and then they're changing.
They modify what it already is, right?
Which is the scary part for me, right?
But you have to be adding another human's gene if it's going to be multiple humans. Now, instead of what they're saying is you could have not just one biological father and one biological mother. You could have multiple biological fathers or multiple biological father genes in your genetic code, and therefore it's do we already? Do I have my father, my grandfather, his father? Is that in there already? And only are we using this technology to access that, and that's how we manipulate it?
The cell's genome can be cut at a desired location, allow existing genes to be removed and or new ones added. So you can
cut and paste.
Yeah.
Yo.
Although, would you,
that's awesome.
Let's say this is going to be...
Can you reject genes, or are all genes... Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
If let's say Sam's, just because you don't have any kids, I'll use you. You're deciding you want to do this and you want to use these particular genes. Are all genes usable? Or do you have to go with a select group of genes that only works with your body?
I don't know.
Well, also, would you? I feel all right. Let's say this is possible, and they took the original egg and sperm, right, and then they added genes from other men to you, but the father is the original sperm. I would say, I would look at
sperm.
The sperm, wherever the sperm and the egg came from, that's biological mother and father.
It's not just going to come from one original sperm. It's going to be 5%, 5%. I don't know. Or it's going to be equal amount of different.
No, I think what he's asking is that
it has to come from the single cell, and then you add two,
and then
right?
You fuck up.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength you are, where it's the father is given his sperm and basically his DNA. and then you are deciding which pieces of that you would like to keep and other DNA that you might want to, and DNA may be the wrong term, I apologize, but maybe you want to add in that extra stuff. You're saying that the father's still the father and he's still like the majority shareholder of the babe. Is that what the kind of the vibe you're going on? Like majority
I'm just
shareholder?
asking, yeah.
That's how I'm thinking about it too.
And then this leads me to believe, okay, just like it is in real life, your father or your mother or your parents are the people who raised you, and that's it. The biology
that's
of it
easier. I
doesn't
like that
fucking
better.
matter, right?
I've always liked that better. It's like, who's your mom and dad and who treats you right? Those guys, that's it.
Who gives a shit where the biology came from? Like, you know, like,
correct.
But it is interesting if the biology comes from multiple people, then it does kind of dilute that biological parent thing and then goes back to whoever raised you as your parents. True. It has nothing to do with like the 10 genes that you have from other men don't mean shit, right?
Yeah,
like
you're right.
If you had to choose one trait for your kid, like anything,
God,
like super good looking or super,
I was just thinking about
smart,
this. I would pull back Maisie's independence one notch.
One genome.
Just one. Pull it back. It's right now. It's at like an 82%. I'd pull it back 2%. I'll leave it in an 80.
It's
Give
hard.
me a few more hugs.
How would you fix your sons?
Well, I think she's exactly the way she needs to be. But yeah.
Well,
I get my feelings hurt a lot. But I'm a sensitive pussy.
It seems like if I was going to choose one trait that I would say would serve you well for the rest of your life, it has to be
big
like
hog.
Work ethic, right?
Okay.
Like that's it. If you have good work ethic, then I think you at least will be fine financially for the most part, right? And then it's like, and then although being a good person trumps work ethic to me, but in this society we live in, I see plenty of good people that struggle all the time, right. You know, and then
if you want to be successful, you have to have good work ethic. Yes.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that you're not an asshole if you have good work ethic.
No, of course, yeah. And I see people with good work ethic that are horrible people, and I don't want my sons to be that. So I'd rather just be a roll of the genetic dice, and then whoever they are is who I'm going to love.
I really think it's easier. Like, it may not be for everybody, and it may not be for future generations, but for me, and having a child, and like my anxiety levels, and me as a human being, it's easier for me just to roll the dice and get what I get and not throw a fit. Because
I don't know, if I had to pick girl and boy, I'd want to do that. But then everything else would be a roll of the dice.
See, I think I would have, if I'm just speaking completely candidly, I wanted a boy. So that's a nasty thing to say to some people when you say that. I think I did want a boy, but I don't think that I think I'm better now with May. Does that make sense? Like, I think, like, I got what I needed to get. Right. At least it seems like that now. Maybe that's just my perspective, but
you get what you need.
I think so.
If people would choose the wrong thing, like if people choose the wrong partner in life, people choose the wrong career. Like choice fucks people up a lot. Because and so if you gave people the choice to put
what you want and what you need are different animals.
Exactly. And then it's like you give people the choice to put what they think they want in their kids, right? I think that's asking for trouble.
Right.
Because
you just simply put like that, yes.
Because what they think they want is not. Same thing with like having a spouse or whatever. Like people choose poorly all the time.
They do.
And so it's like you
make the same mistake over and over, fall into a pattern.
Yeah. And then people don't even realize how bad of a decision maker they are, or like they've constantly.
Well, then you get your ego involved, and that
Yeah.
And you really can't.
But it would be cool to have kids late, like for women, if they want to do it like 50, 60 and they can't. I guess
also
that's
like dodging disease, dodging disease, being able to save the mom and the baby. Sure, these are all cool things that we can use the science for. But you're right. When you put it like that, it's kind of scary to think you open the binder and you can pick anything you want. Oh, Lord. Would have been better.
Well, that's why you need a license.
Let's just leave it to a small menu. This Cheesecake Factory menu of genetic options is kind of weird.
If they eventually get to the point, and I think we probably can do it now, and other countries probably have done it, but where you complete out of the womb grow a human, right? In some sort of like modified womb that they, you know what I'm saying? Like
a room. They call it a room.
Like
not a womb.
I wonder, like, how they will handle, like, birthing that baby, and if it will be some
Babyland
weird
General to come down the cabbage
be
chute.
some weird ceremony.
They'll ring the bell like you ate the 96er at the steakhouse.
Where they cut it out of the womb and then they hand it to the...
Well, there'll have to be some sort of weirdo ceremony because we love ceremonies
No, I know.
as a society, right?
It'll be something like that, right?
You just unplug the bottom and the water just starts going.
Like in the movies.
Just like,
Or maybe they'll do it like this. Maybe they'll show the baby and then you'll be like, hey, how did it happen? We can never tell you that.
I'd like to smash the giant cylinder of water because that's what I see it on the movies, like a ceremonial.
like Ripley in Alien 3, where she shoots all over.
Yeah, it should be.
I want to smash the giant cylinder that the baby's floating in.
It should be, okay, once they say, okay, this baby has been grown to full-size baby, and they're like, you may now smash.
Yeah, give me smashing of the cylinder.
You give me my big old sledgehammer, and I run up there, and I smash it, and then I violently yank the tubes out of the baby, and then I hold the baby, and the baby's fine. He's breathing, he's good to go.
I imagine the water it's all pink and gooey.
No, I was envisioning like yellow.
Oh, all right.
Like a yellow goo, almost like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like a
Teenage Mutant
like a Krang.
Oh, a Krang. They're just pink.
Was it pink? Well, he was pink, but what was the solution he was in? I don't know.
I don't think
Let's take a break.
Did Krang fuck girls wearing the suit?
Oh, the big bald guy suit?
Yeah, because that guy had a big old ding dong, right?
Yeah,
the Krang suit guy?
I don't think he was interested in sex.
Everybody's interested in that.
He was a brain. That's all they think about is sex.
If you're that power hungry, you have to jack it into a plant.
But he has tentacles. He can probably do stuff with that.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We'll have Seth watch some VR porn and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, we'll take him to the future. This week on ACT, we had a friend of the show, Ryan Reese, stop by to play some of his brand new music. This is his lead single called The Writing on the Wall. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan momentarily. 1-844-TOMN-DAN for last-minute phone calls.
I remember when I first gave you a call.
Fairville Megastore.
Yep. If you're looking for anything adult,
yes.
Adult products,
yes.
Adult toys,
yes.
Even simple stuff like massage oils and books. And
yes, adult.
Yeah, they've got, things from mild to wild.
They do have the mild to wild.
And costumes. And really, what's great about Fairvilla is the fact that they vet all of the companies they work with.
Well, most of these companies, if they're not local, they work with a lot of local companies that provide them with one-off stuff. They have a lot of companies they've been working with in upwards of 30, 35 years, sexual wellness manufacturers that they've known for the entire length of the company's been around. It's really neat, like Doc Johnson, some of the other ones that they use with the womanizer products. It's pretty amazing that they've been able to do this and do it at such a high level with multiple locations all across the state of Florida.
Yeah, the Orange Blossom Trail location, that's the Fairvilla Megastore, is gigantic. If you haven't gone inside, it's 2 stories.
Yeah, it's like
huge.
a date night destination type of deal.
Yeah, in Secrets Hideaway, there's a location. There's a location on International Drive. Yep. There's a location over on the coast, in the Key West.
Key West has a location, yeah.
Also, they do a great job with Fairvilla University, and those are, now it's all virtual, which actually more people are involved in, and you've got a professional talking about different, let's say they do one on oral, or they one on, talking dirty.
Dirty talk, bondage, rope play. Basically anything, and again, like Tom said, and I know it's like the old cliche, mild to wild, but seriously, if you're just starting out, great. And if you're super seasoned, that's great too. They got something for everybody.
You can find out all this information at fairvilla.com.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. We got Seth Petruzelli here. And let me drop that down there. The name of that band was... Who was that? Oh, A Will Away. The name of the song is Karma.
Okay.
But it did kind of
sounded like Pariah Mike to me.
Like Pariah Mike, and that's a compliment because I think both of these guys, Pariah and the gentleman who sings in the band, A Will Away, have phenomenal rock and roll voices. That's kind of what I was trying to pick for you. And before that, we heard our friend of the show, Ryan Reese, brand new song.
We were talking about alone time, and I'm never alone. Like, I literally leave where my wife and sons are at the house. I come here to work, and then I go back.
Well, they
my
don't
wife
have
or
like
sons
a
are in
thing
the
that
house.
they go to. Like, I'm very lucky in, and I'm starting to try to reframe things. I'm lucky in that Maisie and Andrea will go to dance. I used to look at that. I'd be bummed out because like, oh, what am I going to do? But now I try to use it like, okay, well, I have the opportunity to do whatever I want. Really, I have some alone time. So I'm very lucky in that respect. I am.
And so with the whole Oculus and VR, I'll never be able to use this because
you can use it here.
Yeah, you can't. I got some stuff to do at the office, and come here alone.
Yeah, you won't go all over.
Daniel's looking at the cameras.
No.
Where's the camera?
No,
Dude,
no.
I did a Smoothie King. Just cover him.
That's right. No.
Then he knows.
I will tell you the secret. You stay in that room, and nothing can be seen. There is no.
No, I know there's no camera.
No, you got to do it in this
surveillance
chair.
in there.
Yeah, but when it alerts your phone when I come into the office.
Not for you. No, it does not.
Well, when
it only alerts not for your code.
Who cares?
It
As long as
only
you're not
alerts for the cleaning people.
No, but
and the fishman.
You've texted me before when I've come to the studio. You're like, "What you doing in the studio?" Then I'm
because I thought you were jacking off.
Well, there it is.
Well,
anyway,
you just ruined it.
Plus I'm not driving, all the way here.
Why not? It's that good, dude.
No,
it's that good.
It's cool to be in a different spot.
My apologies. Sorry about that.
So Daniel showed this to me, and it did blow my mind because I was like, "Whoa, this is a different experience than just watching a." I'm
gonna get it set up for
it is, and so it has to be specific to VR, like filmed with a VR camera or however the hell they do it. But I wanted Seth to see it because I know you're gonna go out and buy one of these things.
He'll buy it tonight. He'll buy it on his way home. And it's bad rap.
It's funny. They make me have.
Better have my.
Okay, I have it set up for you now. You'll be facing exactly the way I'm looking. This is the way you'll face.
This matters where I'm facing? Okay.
Yeah, all you got to do is hit.
It better not be gay porn.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's okay, but.
Hold on, you're going to be this way.
It's the same one we all watched, right?
Yeah, we made some have to watch it.
This is now the fourth time I'm wiping this down. By the way, fourth time.
What are you wiping it down for?
I'm
fourth time.
He said you're gross, Dan.
Okay,
He said you're
I'm a
gross.
little offended at that.
If you're gonna get COVID, Daniel would already give it to you.
Your shorts are tight, and you have a hog, or you're hard right now. Did you fluff it up?
He fluffed in the bathroom.
Motion sickness.
Okay, here's this is right hand.
All right, can you?
This is left hand. So
Hold on, I want to put the camera up so you can see.
Yeah.
See how it
I
feels.
see the laser.
Do you see the play?
All right, let me see this.
I see a bunch of blue X's.
You don't see? Okay, now turn around. Turn. Do you see the play button?
Oh, well, wait over here.
Okay. You did find the play button.
What do I press?
You hit the play button.
But what do I press on my thumb thing? The thumb?
You can hit. You can pull the trigger. Just go ahead and pull your
Where
trigger.
your index is.
Oh, that trigger.
Okay.
Come on, Zach.
Here, let me move.
Do you want to try your camera on him? Let's see. Which one can I?
Is it working, or are you
I'm
having
gonna play with my index finger.
No. Pull the trigger. Pull the
the
trigger.
wrong trigger? This one. Look.
Oh, way up there.
Okay, pull that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, here he goes.
Oh, wait, this is me. I see.
Okay, hold on. I don't know if we can see him doing this.
Oh, let me see if I could turn my camera.
Well, we would need a camera there, so
okay,
it's not going to
yeah.
work. So let's just let him experience.
Mm-hmm. So you
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
and
You're
then
down.
when you look around, like that's the weirdest.
Yeah, except for when you turn it all the way around.
And then you look down, and it's like your own body.
Well, that's not.
That's the creepy part for me.
Has she,
Well,
is she
it
nude
means that
yet?
you're-
Is
No,
she
no,
nude?
I understand.
She's about to be. She's dancing around.
Okay.
Is there a way to like fast forward to just the good parts?
No, just go with it.
Oh, he's a guy that skips around.
Yeah.
Okay.
This just tells me that like my sons are gonna have VR and be watching
Oh, fuck.
pornography
Okay.
this way.
Okay, so where are you at now? Where are you at?
She's Oh, it's like so close to my face.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
That part is too
that.
close.
No, it's not. That's good.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh,
Squirt
right in my face.
right in your face.
Yeah, no, I like this.
Okay, all right. Now take it off and sit down. Let's talk about it.
He doesn't want to stop.
She's got a really. You can like see like really detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now sit down. Take it off. You're addicted
He's
already.
addicted.
Take it off.
And I don't
Okay.
need to do it, so I can't be touching myself.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get my hat.
So
What do you think?
How many stars do you give that?
Dude, yeah, that's a. I mean, the quality, like the
Get on your mic. There you go. There you go.
like the image. Maybe it's just the way that looked, but it was not 4K.
No, because that's just a test.
It's the trailer.
okay.
Now,
yeah.
what
We
I
haven't,
like if that
bought
was-
we haven't bought the
it's so
package
expensive.
yet.
I've been
It's a
trying.
teaser.
I've been trying to do it. I mean, you have enough jack to do it, but it's like $400
To do what?
for a lifetime membership to this thing. No matter
lifetime, dude.
What do you mean lifetime? I'm not going to be alive long enough to get $400 worth of virtual porn worth.
Porn once a day, like $400.
Are you going to go get this rig and put your rig on once a day?
Yeah, in my shower. Yes, I will do it.
In your shower.
That's what I used to do. It before I take a shower. I sit down on my little stool. in
We've
the
probably
shower.
done something bad in showing him this. I feel like this is how like you give your friend cocaine and then you find out like years later.
You can see like really good detail, and it's not even that good quality. Like as far as like the
Then when do you get the
pixels.
I told you.
4K?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
did one yesterday that was 8K, and I swear to God, if I'd had a better VR unit, which we don't, it's good,
Yeah,
it's
it's
great.
good.
Don't get me wrong, I love it, but that's bargain, right? That's bottom,
I
that's
like-
value. If I had a good one, it looks so good. It was 8K.
It feels
It's
like
ridiculous.
It feels like getting a lap dance at a strip club. Is like on like that close. It's nice, and I like it. Yeah.
It it seems like it's a new thing that it adds a different experience than what we're used to, and that's all I saw, and I was like, all right.
But
that's
the
it.
girls that really get it, and there have only been two performers that I've seen in these trailers that really understand how to engage the viewer and are going to get paid. Riley Reid is one of them, and Lacey Lemon, whatever. She's the redhead. They look into the camera like,
Oh, yeah.
It's your eyes.
yeah, they look at like it's your eyes, or when they do little things. They're like, "Oh, I'll be right back. I'm going to go change," and they'll give you like a kiss. And for weirdos that and I mean that with love, who've never experienced anything even close to that,
Right.
that's got to be a crazy new sensation they've never had, like having a woman that close to their face, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when that girl leaned in for a kiss, for a split second, I'm like, I'm gonna kiss this bitch. I'm gonna do it.
It definitely feels more cheating than not cheating.
That's what people want.
Bingo,
Well, yeah.
it does, but it's not.
But it might satisfy that craving for it.
It could, or it could lock you into your shower, whack it off all the time, and then your young girlfriend leaves you.
Oh, sure. That's fine. When she's not there,
Well, I was going to ask you, how much alone time do you have, Seth? Where
a good amount. She's only off like 2 or 3 days a week. So the days that she's off, she's at my house. That before, so 3 days a week she's at mine. The rest of the time I'm alone.
Oh, that's right. I forget he has his time by himself.
Yeah.
Man,
So
you
you can
need
do
one of
whatever
these.
you want.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this would be the. What if
I
you,
walk-
get,
I
what
literally
if you
walk
get
around
one
my
of these
house.
and you get all fat?
No, I won't get
What if
I'll
you-
be so
what
energetic. My bicep will be fucking
One arm.
huge.
But it's not the same way for girls, right? Like I don't think girls are rushing out to get these things to put it on.
I mean, that dick was like really.
I will say this.
Imagine that. Yeah.
I've had 2 females email me about it that have
Okay.
used it for porn.
All right.
Haven't had any guys email me about it yet, but I probably will now.
Wait,
but-
can you fast forward? Like, when you get the real one, the lifetime.
yeah.
Can I like? Okay, this is boring. Skip.
yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely.
Sam,
Yeah.
you bring up a good point. In
I don't
the
know
fact
why I
that
got. I was like, absolutely.
maybe this because like guys are super visual, right? So it's like it's easy for guys to like see pornography and be like, "Oh, I like that."
Correct.
We're idiots. And then, but women need a little more maybe connection that the VR offers them, where it's like now it tricks your brain to thinking there is a
That you're
person
a
in
part-
the room,
yeah,
or
you're
you're
a
part of it, and there's some sort of human connection, just like you said with the eyes.
Interesting, yeah.
I'm telling you, even with the
You're right.
with the cartoon or the the CGI people, if
We're not going to need to be in real relationships anymore.
that's
Or it's,
what
what if it's going to fuck up our real relationships? Though,
It
right?
could.
Yeah, that's what I worry about. I don't really worry about people. Like, if that's all you know, if all you're interacting with are artificial creations, then that's fine, right? But bridging the gap is what's going to end up being difficult, right? Because you're going to have some relationships in the real world that, may not react to all the cues, the social cues that AI or fake relationships or people you're working with in the real or in the metaverse.
Do they have it set up where if I get Tracy one of these two, we could both be in like a big threesome or something?
Then what they
Is that a
like,
thing?
I would imagine.
Demolition Man. Listen, it all goes back to sex helmets. I know what you're talking about.
No. Not just
I
me
would
and her,
imagine
but
they do.
like that, but with her in the bed next to me too.
Yeah, I imagine
Both
that
getting squirted on.
I would imagine, that they probably do have something like that
know.
set up,
Or it'll
right?
come.
Or it'll
Pun intended.
Hey-o.
If they don't have it yet,
that'll be fun.
they will.
I could
for sure.
I could baby step her into it.
But the last thing I
Get
want.
sliding her into a threesome.
My wife loves. Andrea loves the VR. I mean, she's not too big on the
Was
porno
she-
part.
How do you know?
Well, I see her using it. And
Next thing I see a virtual crow flying out, and it's all like, oh God!
She's watching it.
a fucking digital crow. Digital crow goes out.
She's sitting on virtual goddamn power lines, calling at me.
It's
Anyway.
2.0.
So let's finish with some dump 'em out.
All right, buddy. It's dump 'em out time.
We've got too many topics on the list today. It's the end of the motherfucking show. So come on, baby, let's dump 'em out and play. I wanna see your topics. Ooh, I wanna also see your bottomics.
Dump 'em out brought to you by our watering holes. If you go to tomanddanwateringholes.com, Bug Nutty Brewery in Cocoa Beach, Toll Road Brewing, we've got Hourglass Brewing, we got Cafe Da Vinci, Dade City, Tuffy's, West End, Celery City. It's all listed on there, and they're all great partners of ours that serve great beer and food and everything else. So
go support them. Most, if not all, are local. Most, if not all, are small, and they would certainly love you going and checking them out.
Yep. So I was kind of okay, Seth, I'll ask because Seth wasn't here for this. You know the part in Sublime where it's
Santeria.
in Santeria, and where it's I'll pop a cap in Sancho's ass and
No.
Huh?
I'll pop a cap in Sancho.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll pop a cap in Sancho,
And I'll
what do you think?
finish the lyric.
I'll pop a cap in Sancho and I'll slap.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I thought it was slap her dad around.
Slap down.
And then I got made fun of it, slap her down, and that's the real lyrics. But Samantha, and did a listener send this to you?
It was in the BDM group. Somebody else. There's a lot of people that are on Tom's side that either swear that he does say slap her dad around or say that they don't care that it doesn't. They're going to still sing it that way. And then somebody was like, have you seen this? And it was a video of Sublime with Rome, which is the guy that now sings for Sublime. And it was a live, I think it was like jamming in the band, jam session or something, jam in the van. And he says something completely different.
As much as what you said was accurate, I feel like the band has a problem with you saying he sings for Sublime. I think that's why they made such a big stink about it being called Sublime with Rome. Yeah. But anyway, here's you want to hear it?
So Rome.
He's now the lead singer of Sublime.
He changed the lyrics to what I thought it was.
Well, he changed slap to smack.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here.
Smack a handlebar mustache.
Okay, here they are. Okay, here he is.
So he
smack her dad around.
Says smack her dad around.
It sounded like he says smack her dead around.
So if he must have thought it too, right? Being a Sublime fan,
I think he should be fired.
Or like
he's been singing the song wrong.
He's not singing it right.
That's not correct.
It's slap her down.
Yeah, I know, but he said smack her dad around. There's gotta be.
How long has he been singing with Sublime?
God, 10 years
That's
at this
fucking
point?
ridiculous. No one said anything to him?
Does he do it on all verses? Did we check all verses?
I don't know. I just saw this
hold
one.
I feel a little vindicated the fact that Rome also
Well, he only say that the one time.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's just a verse. It's not a chorus or anything.
Anyway, so he must have thought it too. And
That is absurd that nobody in Sublime is like, hey, man, that's not the right lyrics.
Maybe they don't care.
They're
Just
like
collecting that check.
Bradley died of a heroin overdose. Like, you can do it. I just want some money.
They don't strike me as sticklers for anything. Really. Like, I'm going to hold you to that.
Are you familiar with Sweetheartz across from Rachel's on 436?
The Sweetheart's Boutique?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean...
yeah, I mean, I've never been there.
You're always in there. Well, your mustache says differently,
Yeah.
sir. Your mustache screams that you're a everyday patron.
Maybe after I get one of these, I might be in there more getting
So
something.
every time I drive past Rachel's, I look across the street and there's a Sweetheart's, I guess, what would you call that style of clothing?
They call it like club clothing.
Yeah,
But
I don't
like,
think
no
they
one's
do.
really wearing the dress with their tits cut out. You know what
I mean, I wish my wife... I guess it would reach a silly point, when she's like doing something serious. Like if she were just talking to her boss and she had her tits like you know what I mean?
Club meaning strip club.
Yes, it's like,
That's what it is.
it's like it. And
There's not much to them, right?
and it's
Little articles of clothing.
yes, it's like sexy wear for strippers, right? And I look at Sweetheart's and I look across the street at Rachel's and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But the more and more I look at it, I'm like, how
They need
the
a bridge.
fuck?
They need a bridge.
Well, I'm like, is this like Sweetheart store, brick and mortar store, who has employees inside, has a bunch of shit that
Yeah.
I'm like, is this place only sustained by
Thriving.
the strippers across the street? How can that be?
Well, I'm sure that's a destination.
Two
place. A lot
other
of the
things.
strippers-
You got your ravers or any kind of like electronic festival, right?
What about embezzlement?
And then you got
Okay. I mean-
and then you got they sell like knockoff like Coach bags and shit.
I actually,
They do got that in there?
But the internet hasn't
swing
killed
by.
them.
I rent out the store for a Karate Kids dojo for
Man,
half of the day.
I'm going to swing by there and buy me a Lou Vuitton.
So I'm just like constantly
That's my old rap
surprised
name.
about companies that are still.
Clubwear, dancewear, and swimwear.
Swim. I don't know about swimwear.
And I assume
Swimwear's expensive, though, right?
Yeah.
a
Do
lot-
they have an online presence that you can shop from?
Not the Casselberry one. They just have a Facebook page.
They're getting the internet. They'll get it.
So it's like they're able to survive just with. I mean, I guess
Let's
you
go
said,
in there.
You said there's like Raver Kid and like other
No,
people.
ravers aren't going to Sweetheart's. Are you crazy?
It's. Yeah, I assume that people are just shopping online.
There's a lot of streetwalkers that probably go in there.
It'd be more
like
too
homeless
expensive.
people keep them
Not-
afloat?
There can't be.
No, the pimps go in there, not the actual women.
It seemed like how much money, how many clubwear dresses are they selling?
First of all,
per day?
the owner probably bought that building. God knows how many damn years ago. It's probably paid off.
I got a
Pledge
way
paying
to do
tax
it.
on
It's got to be, right? Because
Yeah,
there's no way
so
they're
it's
leasing
just
that.
not like
There's
they're-
still
Sam, go on Yelp.
taxes and insurance.
Yeah, but that's probably not.
Look it up on Yelp because that'll give us an idea of what people are going there to buy. Because if we see some complaints or if we see some good things about it, we'll know exactly how people are interacting with the store.
I don't think the people buying those clothes are Yelpers.
I
go
bet
to Google
there's got to be
reviews.
something on Yelp, right? Or there's got to be a review of this place. If it's a business, it's got a review. We've got reviews of like, I drove past there. 2 fat podcasts.
Because I'd rather
Hated
go
it,
to
1 star.
I'd rather go to like Fairville or something for
Exactly,
of course,
yeah.
for classes.
I heard of this place for a long time. When I was in Orlando, I stopped by. There was a Spanish lady staring at me from side to side, and she has this mean-looking face. I'm not judging, but I felt weird, and she asked me if I needed help. She stared at me so much I felt uncomfortable, but I still asked for a couple outfits to try, and she said me and my daughter couldn't try it on. At Fairville at Cape Canaveral, I'm allowed to try it on. I don't know how I'm going to buy clothing if I don't even know if it will fit. It was a waste of time.
I must be
They
a
shouted out Fairville.
Man, I'm a
too.
good ass businessman if I ask you to read a review and you pick the right one. We're good at this shit. High five, Sam.
She's in there with her daughter.
I love that.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I did.
didn't even pick up. Of course you did.
Creepy as shit. I mean, how old's the daughter?
I know, because you hate the
Yeah,
mom.
you don't know.
You're like, on to the daughter.
They have a good selection of heels, but they are way overpriced.
Okay.
But if she's too old,
I love to suck on some
then it's
heels.
weird again.
Hey, you're right.
But
It's strippers. Yeah. Good selection of heels, too expensive. It sounds like they're shopping around. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Maybe so.
it's the whole business. It
Hold on
just
a
as
second.
we have a lot
This
of- we
is
have a-
5 stars, though. Pro tip, if you're ever feeling a little down about your body, drive right into Sweetheart's and buy yourself a bathing suit. Don't question yourself. Just buy whatever stands out. Then show out at your neighborhood pool barbecue party.
You know what?
They're fucking around.
That is
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Jamie Robbins.
Dude, you
Yeah,
know what
Jamie
he's-
Robbins going hard.
Dude, what do we have? Like 10 to 12 strip clubs in Orlando?
No, but it's not even that. What about the secret
a lot.
OnlyFanders that we all know out there? What about all the Savannah Solos
the
out there?
OnlyFans.
Yeah,
I
but just
don't
buy
think
it online.
Yeah, but to look your best, seriously,
to
trying
try
it
it
on,
on.
getting a tailor, getting your pants
You're not allowed to
tailored.
try it on.
Yeah, you're not allowed to try it on.
Well,
Sweetheart.
that's just that Spanish lady. You got to wait till the
You can buy it from
Ukrainian girl.
Amazon and return it.
You got to let the Ukrainian
Yeah, yeah.
woman work there, then you're good.
This one's got 1 star. Nothing for big breast people.
Sorry, Sam.
That's weird.
That's weird because
Sorry.
it's all cut out.
We're a little tits only store. I'm very sorry.
Anyway, I'm like, how is this still a thing? How are they still in business? It's open. It's still.
Let's drop by there.
I'm down to go in there.
I feel the store is very discriminatory. They do not sell clothes for big girls or women with big breasts.
Oh, yeah, the big girls. Big and
second
out.
part's bad, but
We want some big lingerie.
But it's no coincidence it's across the street from Rachel's because they get
that
a
was
lot
by
of business.
design.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was by design.
Anyway.
It's always been there, too. I think,
Maybe.
I remember it being there back when I was working at the radio station. I was 19, 20 years old. I think it's been there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's probably paid off, and they're probably just making
Like, it's like
taxes.
been there for 35 years or something. It's like insane. It's been there as long as Linda's La Cantina.
I'm obsessed with
I've never been there.
businesses.
I've been wanting to go there.
Cosmic
for 20 years.
Muffin says it's her go-to for performance outfits.
All right.
Performance.
Like this,
Good on you, Muffin.
like brick and mortar businesses that no one goes to. I'm obsessed with. Like I'm
agree.
like fascinated with them just being a lot, like still
Like
existing.
Boca Bargoon.
Like,
It's right in the same area, too. There's
It
a
is.
lot of
They're right
businesses
near each
around
other.
there.
I don't-
Like, you got Sweetheartz, you got
Casselberry's a bunch of random mishmash shops.
Pokemon shop,
There's an
Yu-Gi-Oh
exotic
shop.
pets. There's an exotic pet store that's just
Yeah.
by itself. There,
There's like one building that just
Okay.
says internet games.
That exotic pet-
TV.
Can we
Like, what
talk
the
about
fuck?
exotic pets for a
I've
second?
been to that store. A few
I have
times.
too, and the same guy in there with the same ponytail, and he doesn't age, and he's a vampire.
yeah, like how many?
Because I've been in there, and that guy from 19-year-old Daniel to 45-year-old Daniel, I've been in that pet store, and it's the same man, same ponytail, and he's still young as hell. He's a vampire.
like the Army Navy stores
Yep.
that still exist that are just like
Those are fun, though, man.
Like the owners,
Army Navy stores are
where
fun
you
as
get the-
hell.
Yeah.
So it's the stores. The owners are also the only employee, which is like I'm fascinated with them. Like you're just there, and it doesn't matter if you make that much money,
And you're
for
always
what-
eating a snack when I walk in. You always have a snack.
And it's like how much? But I'm like. Just based on like, okay, you need insurance, you need to keep the lights on, you need to have some internet connection, you need to have.
What about
I'm
your
buying some
merchandise, dude?
Inventory.
That's the thing that always troubles me when I walk in this place. You walk in, there's one lady, she's eating
Dusty.
a snack, and there's 5,000 black lingeries. And I'm like, well, how do you afford that?
Like,
Are these like 50 cents a
Seth,
piece? Or, like, what's happening?
You run a small business. We run a small business. Like we understand how much money you need to make just to fucking stay alive,
just to break even and
Yeah,
so-
just to break even and pay yourself something. Where it's like how much money you're making a day? Are you making $500 a day?
Maybe they live
you
there,
at
too.
least. No, that's the Army Navy model where the guy lives in the
But
back room.
secretly, okay,
I love that.
Now we're on to something that just, now I go from like trying to figure it out to like there's an intense want that I have for this. I put it in the same category earlier when I was talking to Dan Cummins about being isolated, being alone, living under a bridge. One of my dream jobs is working at a Sweetheartz where I'm eating a snack and no one comes in and I'm alone all day just looking at my dusty lingerie. Sometimes I want to be that old man that's selling nothing but Chinese zip ties at the flea market, and I have a table and no one is coming by to see me, and I'm just sitting there and there is no reason for me to be there. But I have an intense drive to be one of these people, and I don't know why.
Crystal walked into a mattress store. We both did,
Yeah,
but
say it,
to
sir.
buy Max's mattress years ago.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I saw this mattress online. It's inexpensive or whatever." I'm like, "All right." We go to the strip mall mattress store. It just said like mattress, generic as fuck. And we walked there, it smelled like smoke. And, like the guy was smoking in the back.
Yes.
And then there was some we were there, we walked around or whatever. I didn't see anybody else in the parking lot. When I left, we actually sat there for, like, nobody went in that store within the hour's time, right? And I imagine there was no one in there before us or after us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah.
How does this exist? Is it a money laundering front? Is it just the old man wants to be alone? Is it a Daniel in the future? So you bring in some smoky mattresses and you sit there?
My favorite? My favorite used to be that I put into that category. My favorite used to be there was a Puerto Rican gaming store in the old Sanford flea market and by gaming I mean tabletop dominoes, and this man would hand make these domino tables that had like Boricua, different like artists and different like and they were all Latin themed and very like Puerto Rican, I believe, at least to my untrained eye. He was very much that, and he would be playing his like Teano or whatever, he'd have his music going and he'd sell CDs and these gaming tables, and not one person would stop by and see him, but goddamn did it look lovely honestly. Just standing there. He had his little hat on. He's got his beautiful gaming tables out. The music is playing. No one, just leaving him alone. I'm like that. He'd walk over. He'd get like maybe a $2 beer at the foot. There's something about it comforting to me that I yearn for that. That's what I want.
Flea market's different because it's not brick and mortar. You can just make things.
I know, but
you got to pay to be there.
You got to pay to be there. My point is he not making any money. He wasn't doing that.
If he sells one, though, he'd probably be fine. Right?
I don't think so. I think he did this because he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the first one. When you walk from the parking lot, he had the best spot.
So it's like I'm confused by it.
Why?
There
is this weird thing that some people like to just say they're a shop owner. I know a guy like that. He used to work at the flea market. Now
You're talking about me?
You're talking about me?
Now he has a spot at the Seminole Town Center Mall. Nobody goes in there.
There are people that do a podcast. They're like, I have a show.
Yes, of course.
I have a show.
Yeah,
I have a show. I'm on the radio.
The Jungle was this close to being in the Seminole Town Center. Like we were this close. We were negotiating the lease and everything. We were going to have a nice big spot. I was like, oh, should I do it? Is this something that we can maybe pull off? Mike's like, I don't know if we should do it or not. We went back and forth for like a month and then pulled out of the deal.
Yeah,
opened where we.
I think you just accidentally said something brilliant. You should do classes only for big people and call it the Chungle.
Did I say Chungle?
It sounded like you said Chungle, and then I was like, is he talking about Fat Jungle? And I was like, oh my God, it's the Chungle. It's the Jungle.
Well, that brings me to, if you own a dojo and you only have one student, do you still hold the classes for the one student?
Oh, no. If one person shows up, I'm like, all right, sorry, nobody showed up. See ya.
Well, they showed up, but not nobody.
Did you expect a different answer?
Kinda.
I'm like, I bring him to the front desk. I'm like, here's our private lesson packages.
So you want to upsell them?
Yeah.
Well,
it's not their fault. Nobody else showed up.
If no one shows up, it becomes a private lesson, which costs more. That is brilliant.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. I'm just saying that for the radio. I would definitely teach, and it hasn't happened, thank God. But 2 or 3 when I first opened, it was like that, and I still did the class for 2 or 3 people, which is fine. But that hasn't happened since.
If nobody shows up, do you do the class? Because that, I feel like
sometimes I pray for that.
Oh my God!
I do just so I can have some relaxed time.
Yeah, now that you have your VR helmet, all the dojos.
I'm going to get 2. I'm going to get one for the dojo and one for my bathroom.
Don't get one for the dojo. You don't need that at the dojo. The dojo should be tech free.
Oh, okay.
There is.
I do have cameras in the dojo.
Yeah, but you don't need pictures of you like this local dojo owner didn't know his door was open and started whacking it.
It's like there is something alluring to me and sad in the fact of like you open up your shop, you like sweep the front, and like you put the open sign, and then you sit there, and then nobody.
Ready for business.
Yeah, and then that's it. Nobody ever walks in, and then but the businesses exist.
What you are describing happens more than not.
Yeah, that's why the majority of businesses close.
Yeah,
the first year. That's the whole.
We were supposed.
The saddest part is in restaurants when it happens in restaurants
because all the money they dump.
The saddest one was
food back there.
The saddest one and I still bring this story up because it still hurts me emotionally. Like I'm a sensitive person, and this was one of the only times. This was a big. This is a milestone in my life for thinking, like turning my back on radio and like the business aspect of it, and understanding that it was flawed and shitty. It was that restaurant where the man and his wife had a dream of opening a restaurant that only served fair food, like fried fair foods. And it was like funnel cakes and corn dogs.
Super nice people, too.
They were the nicest people. And so they had and they go on to tell the story about how they mortgaged their house to open the spot. And, they were going to revolutionize the city by having this restaurant where you would go and you'd eat like corn dogs, funnel cake, peppers and onions, everything that you would get at a fair. You could get it at this restaurant. It's not a crazy bad idea. It's not a crazy good idea.
Good food truck idea, maybe.
But there were maybe need to be fleshed out a little bit. But I'm not saying it's wrong. Look, I don't know. I don't want to work in food. I think anything in food is automatically 100 times different more difficult than anything else. And then we were working at the radio station, and man, they bled these people dry. They just started taking on more money from them than they could afford the advertising.
Yeah.
And we all knew it. We knew it.
Yeah, it's like you shouldn't be spending $1,200 a week in advertising yourself. Like that's way too much.
No.
Like you need to word of mouth. Like
because think of your overhead. How many funnel cakes do you have to sell?
Yeah, like how many you're selling for $3 and they cost you $1. Your margins are $1.80.
And the sadness in that man's eyes, like just sad because that was his dream,
Yeah.
And it would have been cool if he'd had a mentor or had somebody else, to tell him like, hey, not a bad idea. Let's pivot a little bit, or let's start small, or let's not. Here's an idea. Do the idea of owning the restaurant, but let's not advertise on radio at all because you're not there yet. That's too expensive for you.
Yeah.
Let's start with a penny saver. Let's start with social media.
They don't know. And I think this was kind of the cusp of even social media being a thing.
It was.
So this we're
what
talking,
is this, like 06?
Yeah.
05, 06, somewhere around then.
Like social media's new. Man. So, and nowadays you can like literally social media offers like where you don't have to spend any money on advertising. Like
my advertising is all social media for the Jungles and for the dojo. It's all nothing but Facebook. I guess a little bit of Google, but
this is.
Do you think I'm making anything off this?
I see BDMs going.
BDMs come in there and farting and leave. That's literally all
I pay them to do that.
They come in there.
It's working.
They're like, hey, pepperoni, and they walk right the fuck out.
Fart bomb.
That's all they do.
I saw.
Hey, pepperoni.
Well, Chase has been going there for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm not saying there's a few.
He took Seth's side.
Yeah, there's a few.
Now, I hope it's all BDM. I'm going to find out.
Not all BDM.
But there was some TikTok story that I saw that there was this British guy, and he was young in his 20s or whatever. He manipulated the internet. Like he basically started up a fake like cafe and said it was in his like this like flat he was staying at or whatever. Yeah. And he was living in the shed of this flat or whatever. And he said that he basically started it up and then started writing fake reviews in different accounts and got it to the #1 cafe in London or whatever out of 18,000 restaurants. And it was like ranked #1. And he's like never even served additional. Like they just manipulated the fucking social media algorithm or whatever, Google's algorithm to basically put it to the #1. And then so it's like you can do shit like that and you can market yourself. I mean, shit, look at all the satellite locations. And like I'm noticing places, they don't have to be like it used to be like you open your business to get like passerby traffic, right?
Sure.
And now it's like the marketing is in the internet. It's like I like down in Miami, there's like a whole row of businesses that used to be like mechanics and shit, and then like a smoothie place opened. Like I remember, like when I stay with my buddy, I get my smoothie there, and it's like it's back in the area that used to be all mechanics because your phone is taking you to where you want to go. So you type in smoothie and it takes me there.
That's good to an extent. It is nice to have nice frontage where people drive by and be like, I didn't realize I was there.
Oh, I love your location.
Well, that's good. But that's why I was worried about the dojo, because it's off the beaten path. Like, you don't pass it normally.
Well, but it's also in a very...
But the internet takes the people there.
It does, but you have to be looking for it to do that. You can't just drive by and be like, oh, karate. Oh, I didn't... You know what? I haven't done karate, blah, blah, blah.
No one thinks like that.
They do think like that. People... A bunch of people in the jungle, that's one of the main things they say a lot of is like, I've been driving by here for a while. I always see it. Never knew what it was. I'm going to stop in.
Interesting.
I guess the
fart and then leave.
Hey, pepperoni.
Okay. So Samantha, let's talk about your 5-year this Sunday.
Oh, we're leaving. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, I got one foot in the canoe. I'm so proud of you, man.
I wanted to talk about the kayak.
I get a private
Oh, we can't talk about that first. You want to talk about that or not?
Okay, I talked a lot of shit about kayaks.
No, you did a whole like bits on it.
I
Like
know.
we've got multiple like professionally produced videos of you just straight sideways side shitting on kayaks, just saying, why are they fun? You scream yelling, they're not fun, they're shitty, they're stupid. Shitting on Tracy, one of our most, it's amazing she still listens to us the way you treat her.
I still think that way, but my wife, my beautiful wife, who is very caring.
Say her name. She likes that better than you saying her beautiful wife.
And she knew that for my 40th birthday, like all I want to do is adventures with my son.
All I want to do is adventure with my son.
2 inflatable kayaks so that we can go on adventures. We could take them on the boat. We could do, wherever. And I appreciate that. And I do like adventures.
The last time you guys went kayaking, did you express your hate for kayaking then?
No. Well, she's tired of hearing me. I hate everything.
She just powers through. She's like,
I don't tell her. I tell you guys.
He's like, I hate kayaking.
I'm like, if
She's
she
like,
bought
I'm
it
buying him a kayak.
yeah, if she bought it after you complained to her about it.
I think I did in that particular instance after we were done.
How did you fake it when you saw it? Where you're like, oh yeah,
it's fine. No, my son's got in the pool.
Oh, look at him go! Oh, kayak!
And I appreciate
That's the most action that kayak's gonna get.
Oh yeah, Tommy putting the work on it.
Yeah. You know, I did think
That's
to myself,
Tommy
like,
and
how,
Max's kayaks. Congratulations on your new kayaks,
Yes.
boys.
You know, so I appreciate because all she wants to do is have me spend time with my sons, which that's all
That's
I want to
awesome.
do. So that's and whether it's kayaking or whatever, it's hard for me to talk shit about the gift that my wife got me for my 40th birthday, even though I want to so bad. Because I did.
It's like my mom got me the Untuck It shirt, right?
Listen,
it's hard to stare into their eyes and go, "This is I didn't want this. Why are you giving me this?"
No, I got in the pool with Tommy. Tommy got in the front, and we were kayaking around the pool. And I like it. All right, I like it. Kayaking.
It is a hard thing.
Wait, hold on a second. Do you like it?
Kayaking is good. It's fine. It's
I
very
like
good.
kayaking.
It's but I understand the listeners fucking with me because of all the shit.
Well, you said,
I deserve it.
You said you hate
I
it.
deserve it. All right? You're happy now. I deserve it.
You did a whole show and then proceeded to want to do an entire bit based around the idea that you didn't think anyone could call up to the show and justify why kayaking is fun.
That is the whole thing.
It's a little deeper than just like I'm into it now. It's like I can understand why people are confused because you were like, call in. It's a challenge. It's not fun. And now here you are with two of them, not one.
Well, that's
but two.
what happens. You take hard stances on shit.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure Matthew Stafford at one point hated the Rams. And then there's some video of him talking shit about the goddamn Rams.
Yeah.
And now he's fucking holding the Super Bowl trophy.
True, yeah.
That happens. It happens in life. All right. So you're 5 years.
Yeah, so we're going to have the Semantics 5-year this Sunday at 12 p.m. at Rock Pit Brewing. We are going to have our very own beer. We have Semantics Sunday Vienna Lager that's going to be on tap and also available in limited 4-packs. We're going to have Semantic t-shirts for sale, Belgian beer glasses for sale. We're giving away some Semantics pins and stickers. And we're going to have a Daniel Stern Scream competition because I'm obsessed with Daniel Stern Scream from Home Alone. So whoever does the best Daniel Stern Scream is going to win a Climate Design AC Nest from Climate Design. He's going to install it for you. And also we're going to have a couple plants that are being donated by our sponsor at Liner Patch in Apopka, Florida.
I love it.
Every time you say Daniel Stern, I think of the guy that hated or like didn't want black people to come to his basketball games. So who's
Donald Sterling.
Oh my God!
I get a
Don't get that scream confused.
Big! I'm here for the Donald Sterling. Big Magic Johnson. He has AIDS.
There.
Don't do that scream.
Did I win?
So, Seth, how can people...
Do you have any of that beer? Is it only where you're going to be? Or do you have any of that? Can I buy any of that beer for me? That's what I'm trying to say.
I can grab you a pack while I'm there.
You got beer. You
have custom semantics can art from Eric Pabone, artofericpabone.com.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm having a party Saturday. I'm having a karate test Saturday. That's why I got to go now.
I thought you said you're having a karate party. I was like,
I am having a karate
sounds
party.
Stupid.
No, after the test, I have a big get together at my house, and we all have a party. Yeah.
Come on over, guys. Pete's at Mustache's house.
No, it gets fun. We go through like probably 3 or 4 bottles of sake in like a few hours. It gets fun.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh no, the kids.
Hey, take a little jungle juice, a little special sensei juice.
It's the adult.
It'll get you relaxed.
Yeah, take a little bit of this. Yeah.
It's an 18 and up karate party.
That's not a pube. That's one of my mustache. I got a lot of mustaches.
That's happening Saturday.
That's happening Saturday. That's where I'm going right now.
Come on, kids. Let's go ride the train.
Well, my event's not till Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you drop by the event?
I will. If she drops by from one of my parties, I will do that.
Why don't you drop by?
I'll go by anyway. I want to go by. I have nothing to do Sunday. I'll do
your full,
ninja.
The ninja
uniform.
Yeah, give them the ninja.
Hakama.
All right. I'm tired. I'm getting the hell out of here. We'll see you guys next
Tuesday.
week.
Yeah, we'll see you Tuesday.
For you Twitchers, yeah.
I'm everything's
sure
loaded up and ready to go. You got shows.
We'll have some camping trip stories, and if you're in the woods in Arcadia, come find us.
Oh my God!
I'll be the small man shitting.
Real fast. When's your boat thing? When's your boat thing that you're taking they bid on the boat?
We don't know yet.
I've been talking there. I said let's go when it's like springtime.
So you're gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Why?
Because I'm getting my boat the 28th.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
In 10 days?
Dude, he is able
In
to
10
find
days.
more vehicles. I mean, he's just running circles around you in life.
Why would you buy full price with it?
I'm not buying full. Well, yeah, it's almost full price, but no.
New? What year?
40 hours on the engine.
Wow, that's not
2021 Yamaha 242 SE, so it's the Mac Daddy version of the
Is it black
242.
again?
It's black, but it's not wrapped black, but it's going to be. I talked to the guys that are wrapping my truck, and they're going to.
It doesn't make the boat hot when you wrap it black like that?
No, on the outside, no.
With $84,000, you could buy anything fast.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No,
Well, I mean, this
I
guy,
don't care. Yeah,
this guy
so
over here, I
what's
gave him
your point?
$500 for a one-wheel GT. He won't even pull the trigger on it.
Well, it costs $1,800 or whatever. the
now
hell
it's
it is.
$1,300.
Oh, $1,300.
Now, because I gave you some.
Yeah, you gotta get the rest.
Just do it. You only live once, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're waiting, because I just wanted to come out with you. That's all. I was just waiting for you.
I'll tell you when, and you can follow us if you
if you dare.
I think my boat is faster than yours. I'm telling you, boat race.
And this is when you kill one of our listeners trying to do a goddamn boat race against Seth.
Well, I'll have them wait at the dock because I have to get all the weight off.
No, you gotta have him drive it. You're shooting at him with the flare gun. You shoot the flare gun at him.
I'm going to have my VR thing on as I'm driving around.
Jesus Christ. Seth is literally fucking Riley Reid while he's racing you in his boat.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.